We're going to have a real stutterer in here. John the Stutterer is coming by.
How's he doing?
Well, I know he used to be on our show a lot, and I even gave him his own talk show. And then abruptly, he kind of turned on the whole show. He got very upset that I guess Ralph is paid more money than he gets paid.
Oh, dear. When did he get the list of salaries?
I don't know, but he heard that Ralph got paid, and he felt he should be paid. He should be at least paid as much as Ralph. I don't know that he's wrong. I don't know how all that works. But, you know, I just thought that John the Stutterer wanted a place where he could talk where I didn't interrupt him.
Right.
Because I got to keep the show moving. And that was my whole thought. I said, look, if you want to really have a say about things, why don't I just give you, like, if I had put him on the phone for an hour uninterrupted, he would have been fine. Instead, I said, why don't you just do it on a good microphone, and I won't be here to interrupt you. And then he wasn't fine. You know, he wanted to be paid a certain amount of money. I guess Tim only had so much money in the budget.
Right.
And I don't even know why we are paying Ralph to do a show.
I didn't know Ralph was being paid.
I didn't either. I wouldn't pay either one of them. Honestly. I think it's a good practice for Ralph if he wants to be on the radio to have a place he can go and talk.
Right.
But, so I don't know that I disagree with John the Stutterer. I guess I disagree only that Ralph shouldn't be paid just like him. And that's it.
So maybe Ralph's salary gets taken away.
Yeah. But whatever. You know, that's the one thing I'm going to say to John the Stutterer. So, okay, so Ralph gets paid. Now you're going to ruin it for him? You know, that ain't very manly.
Yeah, because it's not like John's going to get paid. The most
Right.
that can come out of this is Ralph won't get paid.
Right. Ralph will have his money taken away. You know. And so John has no more show here. And then John stopped calling into the show and stuff. And I was like, well, that's a shame. You know, I like John the Stutterer. And he listened because he was a fan.
Right.
You know, he was just a fan of the show. And he liked coming on and getting attention. And all of a sudden, he's just like, you know, now it's like all about the money and everything. And I was just like, dude.
It's like an illness with some of our people.
Yeah. I kind of give him a show. It's like Riley. I gave him a show because why not? I thought it would be funny. And I never even thought we'd have to pay him a dime. I thought he'd be able to go somewhere.
Yeah, I thought he'd appreciate it.
When I select someone and give him a show, it's basically I'm letting you have the audience for an hour uninterrupted where I don't interrupt you. And you can sell your dumb, you know, website and your trinkets and those little drawings he makes. And I thought, well, okay, he's getting something out of it and I'm getting something out of it. And that's the arrangement.
Somehow he didn't see it that way.
No, he started to see it as a job where we should be paying him a lot of money. And I was like, dude, your show's horrible. You're never going to make money in radio. And if I'm wrong, go prove it.
The great thing is that he always argues that he's making you a lot of money. He's bringing in listeners.
He's making me no money. If he's on the channels or not, it's irrelevant. Honestly, no offense, guys. I love when you're on the channels, and I love when you have an hour to talk to the audience, and I'm happy to do it for you. But I make no extra money from you being on. If all of you went away, I'd still make the same salary. So everyone gets it in their head that there's money to be made here. There isn't. Trust me. And then they get into, well, you make a lot of money. And I go, well, yeah, I do. But you don't. You're a caller. And instead of you calling in, I'm going to select you because you're one of the better callers and you're one of the more interesting callers. I'll allow you to get on the radio and have some fun. And if you don't want to do it, it's fine. Don't get all worked up.
Yeah, but you don't have to stop calling the show, the thing you used to do.
You used to love calling the show. That's what I'm going to say to John the Stutterer. But why would you take that away from yourself? You love it. And if you do, and by the way, I don't think I've suffered without John the Stutterer.
No, I hadn't really noticed that he wasn't calling.
Yeah. It's crazy. I've explained that to Riley 97 times, but he doesn't want to hear it. And he goes, well, that's it, man. You know, I'm going to quit. I go, go ahead. You're done. Well, I have a contract, certainly. I mean, you won't even pay a motherfucker for basic sustenance. And I'm like, well.
You're keeping him on welfare wages.
I'm like, well, then quit doing the radio show and get yourself a real job. Because this ain't a job. This is you calling in from home. In fact, he does it on an ISDN line. He might as well say, he is calling in from home. What's he doing? Oh. And here's an opportunity. He used to come on for free on my show and try to sell his trinkets.
Sure.
So I said, here's an hour to go sell your trinkets. Have fun. Holy smokes.
Yeah, every negotiation period, he's up in arms, he's striking, he's going to quit, he's going to take his show somewhere else. Somehow, though, he keeps winding up right back here.
I know.
All right. He's late, he's great, and he stutters. It's John the Stutterer. We're going to bring him in.
John.
Hi, how you doing?
Welcome back, man.
Well, thank you.
I missed you, sir.
Well, thank you. Same here.
Good seeing you again, man.
Well, thank you. Same here.
Tell him.
We'll keep going on and on with this charade, yeah?
No, I genuinely am.
Well, thank you.
You're one of my favorites.
Well,
right
thank
this
you.
way. So what have you been up to? What's new? What brings you back today?
Well, not much. What brings me back? Well, my initial, admittedly, my intention was completely out of self-interest. One day when I was out after I went for my normal checkup with my hot primary care physician, I met this guy, and he claimed that he could get me an appearance. So, to make a long story short, the appearance didn't come through as is usual in my life. Things don't transpire for the positive. So I figured that due to the fact that I promised Will that I would come on the show, I came anyway. So I'm here, I guess, in a one sense, to update people on why I'm here, and maybe I'll get to talk about my least favorite person, Ralph Snaggletooth Cirella, who gets preferential treatment, is my contention, and also maybe I will get to discuss that lying, rug-headed psycho Trump the Hump.
All right, so John's here.
Yeah, if you want to do some quick stuff on him. I mean, you got the gist of it from this morning from what he hates Ralph. He says he's been going to speech therapy, though. That's new, for like 1.5 years, but it's not doing anything for him. He still, when he has any extra money, he goes to a prostitute, but he won't have sex with them. It's only he'll perform oral on them, and they'll perform oral on him.
That is so weird.
He was pretty late, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was late.
He's half an hour late.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much time for him.
Well, I mean, yeah.
How much time do you need? Does John not think you can get a venereal disease or an STD from going out on a woman?
I don't think he cares.
Yeah.
I don't give a
because
shit.
why would you want to put your mouth where
I don't know.
hundreds of people have been?
What's worse than what he's got now?
Yeah, he's just like, I want to die.
Yeah. His face could fall off.
Yeah, like I said, John the Stutterer is here. I don't understand his giving up his radio show. I never will. But we used to have a little radio show for him, but he got angry. Hey, John, good to see you. There he is, John the Stutterer.
Okay.
You know, I was saying to Robin this morning, I was trying to figure you out. And I know...
Where is Robin? She's no longer over there.
Robin doesn't like coming into work anymore. She occasionally shows up on an ISDN line.
Oh, okay.
No, she's Robin, what should I tell John the Stutterer? He wants an official statement from you. No Robin yet. She will be back. Okay. Maybe. There she is.
No.
Hey,
what is
John.
that noise?
Hi, Robin. I hope you feel better.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what that noise is. You hear that?
I hear some
Hold on.
air.
It's not your mic. It's not Fred's mic. It's not my mic. It's John the Stutterer's mic.
Oh.
I don't know why. Maybe it's just broken.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who cares? I'll
Wouldn't
just put up
John
with it.
get a broken mic?
Yeah, well.
Want to switch them?
All right, switch them out. Hold on. Here we go. Yeah, it was annoying the hell out of me.
Thanks.
Oh, much better. Beautiful. Glad I did that. You all right?
Yeah, it's just that I was in a rush to get here, and when I got off the train, I kind of jogged, and I'm sweaty. And
I know you're late. I only have a couple of minutes, so I want.
Well, I got the first train here.
Right.
And as usual, I feel horrible and I look horrible. So.
Oh,
Let's
stop
get
it.
to it. Why is he no longer?
Well, I know why. Let me help John out here for a second, but I want to work through this with him. You know, you used to have a radio show on here, and I thought for a guy who's pretty tortured in life, it was a fun thing for you. And the way I looked at it, and I know you were upset because you found out that Ralph was getting a salary for doing his show. But, you know, leaving Ralph out of it, and I can't explain to you.
I'm not leaving him out.
Wait, I'll get to it.
He can't.
But, you know, for you, you're a guy who likes to call into the show. You love speaking to the listeners. The way I look at it is, these shows, I don't care if they're on or not, but for you, I thought it would be fun because you get to speak for an hour without being interrupted by me. You got your thoughts out. You're a caller anyway, so I figured, hey, let John have his hour to say whatever he wants. It's never going to be a money-making proposition. I can't explain to you why Ralph gets paid. I don't even know the answer to that.
Well,
But
my
don't pay Ralph either. Who cares?
Well, my main argument is this. My main argument, I suppose, if you say that you don't have control over it, I suppose I believe you. I suppose then
I guess I could have control over it. I should look into it.
The
Look,
man that I
have
have
for Ralph's salary.
I didn't arrange for Ralph's salary.
I suppose the man that I have the most argument with, then, of course, is Tim. In the great words of Riley Martin, cheap motherfucker Sabian.
Yeah, but let me say something about
and
Riley.
What I can't Ralph gets special preferential treatment as he always has.
Let me answer to you. First of all, to follow Riley is insanity. Riley is a maniac, and I'll tell you why. I said to Riley, I think Riley's one of the more interesting callers, as you are. But I said to Riley, look, you keep calling during my show. I can't take all these calls from you. If you want, I'll give you an hour. You can do whatever you want, and instead of calling in to me, you'll have direct access to the audience. You can speak for an hour. You want to sell all your trinkets, you want to sell your website, you want to sell your books, go ahead. Suddenly, he started to believe that he's the reason people are tuning into the channel. I said to him, Riley, if you don't like doing the show, it's like if you don't like calling into the show. Basically, he calls into the show. I said, if you don't like it, don't do it. I'm not. He thinks it's going to be a living and he's going to make money doing this. I said to him, no. I said, whether you're on the channel or not is irrelevant. It doesn't make me a dime.
Well,
it's the same with you. I did it because you liked it, and you have a miserable life. You live with your parents. You hate everything that's going on. You even, you know, you lick the assholes of prostitutes, which is going to give you a disease. I'm worried about
listen,
you.
Howard.
I thought you would have been a great outlet for you.
Now, it may not transpire for Riley. He may not become a big celebrity like you.
Right.
But Ralph won't either. And that
I agree with you.
And that ugly, no talent, snaggletooth scumbag Ralph, he should not be getting. And my word to fat Tim is.
But Riley gets paid.
But Ralph should not be getting paid more than Jackie. Riley.
Why? But Tim thinks she's more valuable.
The people on the intern show, he gets special preferential.
How do you know what he makes, by the
treatment.
way? I don't even know what he makes.
but I have heard that he gets paid more than everyone on 101 except for
Well, should John Hine get more money than you guys? But John Hine is just one of the listeners I took and gave a show to.
Because John Hine,
why?
Yeah, but
why should John Hine get more?
But Ralph and hardly anyone listens to Ralph's.
But look what you did.
The key time.
But listen to me.
And it is still on the air. Lots of people
listen to what you did.
To Riley and Jackie's show and the intern show and the super fan.
But I don't care about any of them.
They should be very pissed off at Tim because Ralph gets paid more than those people.
So let me answer.
And if you take phone calls, these people will agree.
But let me ask you
Ronnie's show should still be on the air. You should put it as you did with JD. You should put Ralph's show in the hands of JD. You put Ronnie's show in the hands of JD, and Ronnie no longer has a show. Why don't you put Ralph's show in the hands of JD?
Okay, let's say you're right about everything.
Because
why don't you listen to me?
Special preferential treatment.
You stop listening to me.
Yeah.
First of all, you're not the program director. You don't make those decisions. By your logic, I should have made the same money that Booker made on K-Rock. I don't agree. Now, look. It's not communism. It's the program director's decision. But look what let's say I agree with you. I agree with you. Some people are better than others. But by your logic, John Hine, so John Hine shouldn't get any money, or Ralph should get any money.
Fans have come when I go to say my doctor or something. Because that is the only.
But let me finish my statement.
Time that I go out and I see people. Fans come up to me and they don't even know when time is on.
All right, listen to me.
Nobody listened to it.
All
but
right, let's assume
Ralph
you're right.
is a kiss ass and he loves her, and Tim is a kiss ass.
But let's assume.
And for some reason, everyone around here is afraid of Ralph.
I'm not afraid of Ralph.
Everyone loves Ralph's opinion. Why is everyone around here so afraid of Ralph?
Can I say something?
Ralph is a scumbag.
Can I say something? All right.
He's nothing.
Let's say someone around here thinks Ralph is talented. Let's just say.
But he's not.
All right. Let's say you're right.
Well, there are lots of opinions about talent.
Right. But let's concentrate on you for a second. So what you've done is cut off your own nose to spite your face. So because you don't like Ralph,
I paid $150 for that show. I should
have gotten paid
more
anything.
People listened to my show than fucking Ralph's show.
Why don't you listen and learn something? Maybe I know something. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I know something. My point is, you should have received $0. You were a phone caller who
and Ralph is too. He should get nothing.
Forget Ralph for a second. You're obsessing on
Donald
Ralph.
Trump is a fucking psycho, rug-headed Trump the hump.
Where'd that
He's a wacko. And you're afraid to say anything about Trump.
I like Donald Trump, and I love his opinions.
He's a nut.
Whether he's a nut, I agree with Donald Trump on some things, and I disagree.
He's a nut.
And I'm not afraid of Donald Trump.
He's a nut.
Okay. You feel he's a nut.
He is a nut.
See, if you had your show, you could still think.
You mean if I disagree with you, I'm afraid? If I disagree with you about Ralph, I'm afraid of Ralph?
When Sarah Palin or Rick Santorum questions Obama's birth certificate, they're nuts. But when Trump the Hump says it, he's not a nut.
Didn't I say that he's wrong about that, and it's silly to obsess on that it makes no sense and it ruins his credibility?
And Trump the Hump called Santorum a nut. He's a nut too.
All right, listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me.
I hate Trump.
Okay, fair enough. John,
and he's questioning Obama's. Obama hasn't even raised taxes. Clinton's top tax rate was 40%. Obama hasn't even raised taxes. But to Trump, he golfs with Clinton. He loves Clinton, but he doesn't like Obama. And the reason for that is Clinton is white and Obama is black.
Okay, listen.
Well, John, this is why we gave you a show.
Yeah, but I should be getting paid more than Ralph.
Yeah, but
and Riley and Jackie should be getting paid more than Ralph. The intern should be getting paid more than Ralph.
These are your opinions. This is not.
And
you're not the program
is a
director.
Fat, cheap fuck.
Yeah, but you're not the program director. So let me get back to you. Forget everyone else. Forget me. Forget the channel. I'm talking about you. Just listen to my point.
Yeah.
My point is, you're a guy who sits at home. You love to have your opinions heard. On my show, I can't give you that much time. I can't. You know, I'm doing a whole show. So I say to you, hey, here's an hour show. Do with it whatever you want. Instead of calling in and getting interrupted, feel free to talk all you want, because I take that and do that for certain callers. So now what you've done is you've silenced yourself. And it's fine by me. I did it for you. I felt it was a great outlet for you. It gave you an opportunity to get out there. I feel you've been shunned. You've been an outcast. You live at home. You get depressed. And when you did
I'm
the
a
show...
loser.
No, and when you did the
I'll
show...
never get a woman. I'm a... No,
but when you did the show, it makes you a winner.
Ship is sailed. My ship...
No, you're a
and
young
the only
guy.
way I would do it is if I get paid with that... With that
But you don't have to do
ugly,
it.
snaggle-toothed, low-life, disgusting scumbag Ralph Cirella gets
Well,
paid.
then, and now who suffers? Ralph doesn't care. You lose, he wins. He won
Geek
again.
Time's still on the air.
He won again. You used to be able to get on the air and talk about what a scumbag Ralph is, and now you can't. So you've silenced yourself. You've taken away one of the few joys in your life.
I say,
and you lose.
boycott Geek Time and boycott Trump. And boycott Tim Sabian because he's a prick.
How do you boycott Tim
I don't
Sabian?
feel Tim Sabian is a prick. He's a friend of mine, and
Well,
he's a
he's a
hard-working
prick.
guy. He's not. And I disagree with you. And if that makes me afraid of Tim Sabian, then I'm afraid of him. I'm not afraid of anybody. But my point is, and I'll always be honest with you, that I feel you've hurt yourself over some misguided sort of, agenda.
And he comes in here and he's screaming a bunch of other people's names. Was he nominated to be their spokespeople?
I don't know. And Jackie's show is better than Ralph's show.
Well, I know the way people feel about Ralph around here, but for some reason everyone is so afraid
why do
to
you say
come out and
afraid?
say. Everyone seems to be so afraid of Ralph.
Tim
They
tells
think
me
that Ralph's opinions are so great.
Tim tells me, well, that's the point. Tim thinks Ralph's onto something with his show.
But nobody listens to it.
You don't know that.
Oh, yes, I do.
How do you know
because
that? Do
people
you have the
come up to me
research?
and they don't even know about the show.
Tim has a way of knowing how many people are listening.
He's done his own independent
Yeah.
research.
But I don't even care. So let's say you win. I'll say to you, I'm going to take Ralph off the air. You're now off the air. I'll take Riley off the air. I'll take away these shows from you. Well, you want me to
Took
do
a
that?
Ronnie show off the air.
I did.
Ronnie's
it was terrible.
show should fit.
I
no,
didn't think it
wasn't.
was good. That's your opinion, but these are my channels. Get your own channels, and you can make the decisions. And I chose you because I thought you had something to say, and it would have been fun to give you an hour. But I don't need to have you on the air,
Well,
John.
I don't want a show anyway.
Right. You're happy
I just
without
want to play in traffic
Well,
or jump in
stop
front of a train.
Is that why you don't wear rubber when you're with these prostitutes? And I know you don't fuck them.
No,
you eat
it's
them
not.
out.
No, that's not the reason. Because it's the only way I can
Get off.
to get a woman.
You see,
I can't get a woman without.
I feel
paying
if
for
you
it.
had had the show and you had something going on, maybe a woman would have been in your future. Maybe you go on Ronnie's block party.
But I have been coming on this show since August 1999.
Right.
I have never had an opportunity to get a woman, or should I say, a good-looking woman.
Right.
You know, the type of women that
Do fat chicks reject you?
that stud over there gets.
Like you mean Benji?
Yeah.
Can you believe what he's up
Yeah.
to? You would love a girlfriend
man,
like
he's
that.
all right looking, you know.
Yeah, but he's not bitter and angry like you are.
But
That's the difference.
he's persistent.
But I don't come off that way.
You do.
No, I don't. At clubs, I don't. No.
You don't?
No.
The girls don't like him at first, John. See,
Oh, yeah.
when you get rejected, you walk away.
That's true. Benji will hang in there till he grows on a woman. That girl was disgusted by him. She hated him. She thought he was ugly and gross like the rest of us do. And he worked his magic on her. Right, Benji?
Yeah, but John, what you just said, I think, was a big mistake. You said at clubs, the girls don't respond to me like that.
Yeah, clubs are the worst. Can you pick up a girl at a club? I can't.
I can't talk at a club.
Me neither. It's the worst.
But I can't even get laid at swingers clubs.
I know. Well, that's pretty bad.
Oh, wow.
It is.
You're living at home still.
Well, yeah.
You're depressed.
I was. I had been for 12 years. I had my own apartment in Rittenhouse Square.
Right.
Yeah, but then my landlord raised my rent and
I'm ruined that.
yeah.
Well, it just seemed if you could have got more money from the show, maybe you could live in Rittenhouse Square.
Yeah. And one interesting side note, I also, as you may or not recall, one of the health problems I had was severe acid reflux, and last September I had surgery for that, and that's a lot better now.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm sad for you that you're so angry with Ralph that you ruined your own radio show. I can be sad.
What? He's a prick.
Forget. I don't know why. You know what you're like. You're like a guy who has something good going on and then concentrates on what the other guy has, and you become consumed with it instead of saying, "I'm happy with what I'm doing." You know, I'm enjoying doing the radio show. I now get an hour to express my views. It's something fun. It helps me to forget my miserable life. It even gives me contact with people. No, you're going to sit and concentrate on that Ralph.
Yeah, but
I don't spend a minute thinking about Ralph.
But when somebody
then ruin your own life. You're ruining. Ralph is not suffering from your boycott.
Your show. You don't miss your show. You don't miss doing your show. You don't miss what it provided for your life.
Because it induced so much anger in me that there were times at the end of the show I felt as though I was going to have a stroke.
Right.
Oh,
he get very
because I have
he gets so worked up.
I have high blood pressure and I take a medication for that.
Yes, Bill, you're on the air.
Hi, Howard. How are you?
Hi.
Hi. I just wanted to know, why does Stuttering John figure that everybody feels the same way that he does?
He's being a narcissist. He's saying, "Oh, I know what everyone likes. I know what everyone thinks."
Well, yeah, it seems like he's coming off as kind of ungrateful.
Yeah, well, I listen, if I'm John, I'm thinking, what makes me happy? Forget Ralph, forget Riley, forget Jackie, forget Rush Limbaugh, forget what, I think John the Stutterer should make more money than Rush Limbaugh. So what? Who cares? I'm not going to sit there.
But when it comes right down to it, I don't even think he could physically do the show.
Yeah, well,
so
he does get upset.
About?
But listen, I feel bad that you're not feeling well about yourself, about living with your mom, and all this stuff. And I thought this was a nice outlet for you. That was my motivation.
Well, back to what Robin just said. My doctors, when I asked my doctor, who's hot, my primary care physician, I asked her, do I have to take the blood pressure medication the rest of my life? And she said, probably, yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, you're excitable.
She advised me to avoid stressful situations.
Yeah, well, this is a stressful situation.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. All right, look, I mean, John, I love you.
Well, thank you, Howard.
I'm glad you stopped by today. I'm glad that you came in.
It's good to see you. You look good.
It is good to see you. And you do look good. I know you think you don't, but you do.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry you're not feeling good. And I do wish you would do this show because I thought it was good for you. But if you don't, I understand.
Well, if I can have a meeting with Cheapskate, and if we can work out a more reasonable arrangement, well, then maybe.
Hey, Howard.
Yes.
I spoke to Tim. He didn't want to come in and talk numbers, but Ralph gets no preferential treatment and doesn't make anybody any more than anybody else, John. I think you've decided that, but it's not the case.
Yeah, well, John thinks he knows everyone's salary.
Right, he seems to know.
I don't even I don't know what they pay Ralph, but according to what Gary's saying, it's pretty much on scale with everyone else.
One last thing, Howard. Why hasn't that phony phone call that Sal and Richard did a few years ago on Ralph, why hasn't that been played?
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't funny.
Well, it should be played.
Gary?
You don't know exactly what he's talking about, but if it's not being played, you're probably right. Maybe we just didn't like that. But there's lots
maybe
of
Ralph
calls.
didn't give his permission. That's possible, too.
That might be the one, Howard.
What?
I think you might be right. I don't think Ralph gave permission. I got to go listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, John. No conspiracy here. I don't know where you get your facts and figures from on what Ralph's making, But I don't think you're right. But that's up to you. If you want to upset, you're obsessed with him.
If the great,
it's almost like you're in love with him.
Benji Bronk, if he would have stole booze from over there, he would have been fired.
I did steal it.
He did steal it.
No.
Oh, he's done plenty of things he should have been. I can point to every guy in here should be fired, but I don't fire anybody.
Okay.
All right. Well, anyway.
Hey, Howard, can I just, before you go, John, which call are you talking about? Is that the one where we use clips of you to call a guy named Ralph?
No. The great Sal and Richard would know. It was a few years ago when they called that asshole.
It is, but I'll work on it.
We'll work on it. All right. Ralph is on your mind. You know that song, You Are Always on My Mind? Ralph is always... I should write a song for you. Ralph is always on John's mind.
By the way, Howard, I thought it was great that you played a clip of the great Yes
with Yoko.
Doing the reworking of the Paul Simon song America. But Yes's version is so much better.
Yeah,
it's long,
I love it.
Expanded. Yeah,
I love that song.
And Steve Howe is a great underrated guitar player. I think that with the exception of the great Hendrix, that Steve Howe is number 2.
Really? That's very bold.
Because
better than,
Steve Howe is a technical...
You're saying he's better than Eddie Van Halen?
Of course he is.
Wow.
Absolutely. There's Hendrix, there's Steve Howe, there's Clapton, Jeff Beck.
John, I wish we had more time. I got to take a break.
Ask Fred. He knows.
Fred, that's
Where does Eddie Van Halen come on that list?
Fred is afraid of you. Finally, someone is afraid of you.
No. I love Fred.
I'd have to say Eddie's number 2.
I love Fred.
Eddie is number 2.
I love Fred.
All right.
How you doing? Your health is okay?
Well, yeah, I'm going to Temple University for speech therapy.
Well, how's that working out?
Not well.
No change?
Nah.
1 minute. What do they use? Like a behavioral thing where you feel sounds in your mouth, or
Yeah, stuff like that.
And interrupting?
And techniques and breathing techniques and all stuff like that.
And it doesn't work.
Nah, not so far. But we'll see how it goes out.
Nevertheless, today, much like
Yeah,
at the beginning, at the very
at
beginning.
first, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't hear as much sort of hesitation.
And even now when you're talking,
So do you think you're doing something differently even here?
Well, I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
I think it might be working and you're not realizing because it's such a subtle, slow change.
Yeah.
Well, it's good seeing you.
Yeah, you same here.
Yeah, and I'll tell Ralph. I don't think you're right about Ralph's salary, but
He's not. You're not. You're really not.
You're not. I don't think.
I know. I happen to know that Tim doesn't have money to pay Ralph more than everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything.
Well, then
But it is
I'm
funny,
wrong.
but
I'm wrong then, maybe. But I just brought it up.
I like that you think Ralph's a high-paid guy. That's really good.
My man, John.
Okay.
Are you going to heed Howard's advice? Did anything he said today hit home with you?
Anything hit home with me? Well, I still don't necessarily believe him about that scumbag Ralph. Any advice? No. I think so.
What about not concentrating on others, not comparing yourself to others, not getting yourself all worked up about things beyond your control?
Well, well, in this case, I don't really think it's appropriate because I think that there is a genuine injustice here. And as I just alluded to or said, I do believe that low-life prick Ralph does get special preferential treatment and has been getting special preferential treatment for as long as he has been Howard's friend and part of the show. And when there's an injustice such as that, such as him being treated better than others, it has to be brought to light.
Will this continue to affect you as far as coming down to the show and you know, giving your appearances, and basically will this keep you from the show, this belief that Ralph is getting preferential treatment and you're getting screwed?
Oh, no, it won't keep me from coming on the Stern show itself, but I probably will no longer do the straight talk show unless it can be demonstrated unless I can get more than what I was getting from Tim, and it could also be demonstrated that in the case that I do get more, that what I would get in that case, that it would be equal to what that scumbag Ralph gets.
You blew my mind, you know?
Well, when no one listens to Ralph's show, and he gets special preferential treatment.
I don't know what you're talking. How does he?
He does.
How?
He does. He shouldn't be getting paid more.
How do you know? How do you know what he gets paid?
Because I have my sources.
Really well. Okay.
I do.
Wow. Well, then your sources.
Actually,
Well,
I do.
let your sources.
Or should I say sources?
Well, that's good. That's
and
good.
The Ralph show sucks. And Riley should be getting paid more than Ralph. Jackie should be getting paid more than Ralph. The intern should be getting paid more than Ralph.
You should go up to HR and see if you can pitch my job then.
Yeah.
You know, I would love that.
Ralph's show sucks.
That's good. All right.
Dude, you had no story when you went in there.
If it's not a story, that means you don't have a pace car and you're not driving it around town.
You put the thought in his head that I have some kind of a car.
Lieberman gets so worked up.
But it's great.
It's the most
moronic argument.
Oh my
You're
God!
so passionate about it.
Lieberman goes like this. He goes.
Yes. Hello, Red Gypsy.
Oh, good morning, Howard and everybody.
Morning.
I was going to bring up a couple of things, although, you know, Eric just did that. I wanted to say one thing, that I was at AGT, and Ronnie was totally professional.
You know, this Ronnie, I got to tell you, he really is insane. I didn't hear the wrap-up. Gary played me a piece of the wrap-up show with Ronnie about this car, and I turned to Gary and said, I think Ronnie's losing it.
What happened?
Well, I mean, I don't even understand. So John Lieberman says, "Hey, Ronnie." The story was Ronnie got a new car. Ronnie blew up, and he's going nuts. And I mean, and he's arguing. There was an argument on the wrap-up show. It made no sense. You got to hear this. Did you hear the wrap-up show?
No.
All right, listen to this.
The story was you have a pace car that you're driving around town.
What I had. That was the problem.
That was the story, and that's what I went on the air with. I didn't have all the details.
You came to me,
I didn't
John.
have all.
You came to me and said, I heard you got a new car. And you didn't say anything about pace car, schmace car. You said, I heard you were fishing.
Why does Ronnie care if someone says he got a new car? I don't even.
And so what if he's fishing? He has an objection to this whole thing.
And that's what we do. In other words, that's how you get paid. The way we make money is that John Lieberman is part of the Howard Stern show. Why, you are losing your marbles. Why would you be upset about the guy saying you have a new car? Who cares? And the reason he's in the hall asking you questions is he's making you a part of the show. He's making you famous. And then you go out and do Ronnie's block party and you make money and you get to meet fans. This is all you dreamt of when you were sitting in the car.
It's part of making you more compelling.
You're going crazy.
I lost my mind.
I want you to listen to the playback.
I lost my mind.
I got a new car. You had no idea what the car was. You had no clue what it was.
I had from 3 different sources that it was a
stop with
pace
your
car.
sources
So I went
bullshit.
on the air with it, and then you confirmed it. So what's the issue? What's the issue here? There's no issue.
The issue was I
there is
confirmed
no
it
issue.
myself later on. You had no story when you brought it up. You had no story, John.
Ronnie, you're almost like, I can't get through to you. It's like you don't have a normal brain.
I have a normal brain.
Listen to me. When you report, I confirmed the story with 3 sources, and then with you yesterday by blowing me off, you confirmed it.
No, I didn't.
You said...
I said nothing.
What did you say?
I said to you, I don't know what you're talking about.
And then when I kept questioning you, you finally said, yes.
What did I say?
I have a car. We're playing the clip today on the news.
I didn't say what it was.
It corroborated what I had from
I could
3
have
other
had a car
sources.
for 20 years already.
So I went on the air with it because I was confident in the story. I had it from enough people.
No, you weren't confident because you didn't know what the car was.
Doesn't matter. I knew it was a pace car, and I knew you had it at home.
Dude, you didn't
Why
know
do
what
I
it
need to
looked
know
like.
the year?
You're coming in with having them bring in different pictures, different colors. You're telling me the car's orange. You're telling me the car's pink. You had no clue.
The structure of the story was true, and I stand behind it.
Well, good. You stand behind it. I think it was bullshit.
You don't. How is it? So it's not true?
It's true now.
Thank you.
I
Thank
said
you.
It was
That's
true.
it.
I said it was true afterwards. When Howard asked me, I said it was true. Not to you.
Do you hear this argument?
What are you doing, Ron?
I don't know. And I was going to say to him yesterday, you got to calm down. You get upset about everything lately. And then he starts attacking me. He says, Howard likes his electronic devices. Yeah, I do. And if they ask me if I got a new one, I'll tell them. I don't listen. If John
There's a difference between walking around and you got a new phone,
right? And there's a
difference between driving around in a car that stands out a lot, and I don't need people knowing it's me. That's all. I don't need people bothering me.
You got a car that people will look at, and now you don't want them to know it's you?
To see it.
Yeah, they'll see it, but they don't have to know it's me. They don't have to know it's me.
Why buy a car that draws that much attention?
Oh, here he is. I don't want to deal
John
with him.
Lieberman.
I don't want to have to deal with him now.
You don't?
Why don't you care?
Let's
I can't stand him.
Why?
I can't stand the man.
But Ronnie, he's part of the show. He's doing his job.
He's a shit reporter.
Is this on right?
Yeah.
You don't even know how to put a microphone on. It's on backwards, you idiot.
Oh, dear.
This is a different one than I normally use, Ronnie.
boo-hoo. It's different than he normally
You
uses.
have become such... You're an ignoramus. You don't know what you're speaking about. You came up to me in the hall about 5 minutes ago. You say, I know who your sauce is. I know who your sauce is.
It's a source.
Yeah.
I said sauce.
You didn't.
No, you
ask
say
Richie
sauce.
Wilson.
Oh, ask Richie Wilson.
What is the story with this car?
Play what I did to him yesterday, how I made him blow up.
What do you
Play
mean?
that.
What is that? This is it, no?
When I said he was a shit reporter, how he went ballistic.
Well, here, I mean, I'm in the middle of the Ronnie argument.
That's
what's
what I'm
the
bringing
issue?
out.
You're
That's what
confirming my story.
No, dude. You had no story when you went in there.
If it's not a story, that would mean you don't have a pace car and you're not driving it around town.
You put the thought in his head that I have some kind of a car.
I don't know. I don't know which part you're talking
It's
about.
right towards the end.
I think that's all I have. They give me clips.
Oh, he went crazy.
I did not go crazy. What I was saying to you, Ronnie,
they were falling out of his head, dude.
I was making...
Listen, let me explain this to Ronnie. The reason we hired him,
I don't care,
is because
I don't care where you hired
him. Yeah, but you're working.
I don't
here.
like him.
Yeah, you don't.
You
like
don't
him.
have to like me.
I don't like
you.
you.
Don't have to like me, but you can politely say no comment. But you see, when your reaction is so out of bounds,
that's all I have to say.
Sure, you can say
no comment
no comment
on any story you come to me with.
You know what?
On.
I just don't.
I don't like you.
So if it's about Ronnie's block party,
send Lisa.
promoting.
Send Lisa to me. I love
Fine,
Lisa.
I will send Lisa. Fine, no more block party stories.
Okay.
And you know what is out of bounds? I've never attacked you in terms of your security
I
job.
was just fucking with you like everybody fucks with me.
I have never personally attacked you.
You work on the
May I
Stern Show.
please finish?
You work on the Stern Show. Take your fucking medicine like I do.
Are you kidding me, Mr. Hypocrite?
Take your medicine. I take it all the
Ronnie
time.
doesn't know what hypocrite means. You explain it.
No, I don't.
All right, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, I'm stupid.
Yeah.
But
I'm fucking stupid.
You attacking my reporting is ridiculous, and I'll give you an example.
Don't look
there
how
are a number
defensive you
because
you sound like me now.
When I go up to Gary, and I ask him a question, he is forthright. I say, Gary, I
Because
heard...
all the stories you do on Gary are...
No, because
Gary's running for park recreation there. Gary did it.
Let me give you an example of a story I did yesterday that Gary didn't want reported. I say, Gary, I heard you were in a car accident. I had two sources.
What happened?
I had two sources tell me he was in an accident. And you know what Gary does?
How come you killed the story?
It was on the air yesterday on Howard 100 News. You don't listen?
No, I hate the news.
Oh, so you can criticize, but you don't listen
I don't
to
like
what we
the
do?
stories. I don't like your stories.
Okay.
I only
Ronnie,
listen to Lisa's
you understand.
stories. And Shuley. They're the greatest.
You know what?
Reporters.
When we
Shuley's
even
awesome,
Scott DePace,
Shuley is
even
the best
Scott
reporter,
DePace,
man. He's even funny when he does his stories.
What about
even
Scott DePace?
Yes. When I confronted him yesterday about some allegations that I've been
I know
hearing.
what you're talking about. This TV camera was supposed to be covering him. He was having a meltdown about something, and he had the cameras turned off. He's instructed people not to shoot his picture.
There are a lot of things.
I got word about.
Don't
this,
shoot him when he's leaning back in his chair either.
And I will take this up with Scott off the air.
Hey, bring it up because, dude, there's no truth to that. Let's go. Howard.
Well, here are what my sources say.
My sources. Here he goes again.
I have multiple sources.
Oh, I know
around
you
here,
do, man.
and I protect them. That's
yeah,
why I
you
get
pay
these
him
stories.
Probably.
Yeah,
you
I
fucking
pay them.
Little informants. Little,
yeah, because I'm not spending my money on pace cars
that you fucking run around chasing after.
Howard,
what'd you
here's
find out
what's going on.
You little fucking spies.
Can I say something to Ronnie? If you don't want to be noticed in your car, don't buy a pace car with writing all
It's
over
a collector's car, okay?
Yeah, but if you don't
Leave
want
me
to be
alone.
noticed, why?
I don't bother you with what you do. Why do you
There are
have
a lot
to
of other
bother me
cars
what
you
I
can
do?
collect.
Why does that bother you so
I'm
much?
saying the logic there that you don't want to be
There's
on the
guys
news.
with 50 cars in their garage that collect cars.
No,
I have one.
I have no
It's
problem.
a crime. I know.
But you
I'm
see, you don't want
sorry.
this John asking about your car because you don't want to be noticed. That's a car that you get noticed in. I'm sorry. I mean, you're going to be noticed in
Dude,
that
if
car.
they don't see me and they don't know it's
How are they
me,
not going to see you? There's glass in the fucking car. They can look in
and the
see
glass
you.
is tinted, okay? Just like when you get in a car.
It's not
the glass,
that tinted.
Oh,
They
it
can see
is.
through the
No,
front.
Is it legal?
Oh, Jesus. Here we go.
What is that, Scott?
It's a convertible.
Oh, Gary.
Yeah, okay. Do I have to put the top down, Gary? Do I have to?
But you will.
Do I have to put the top down?
You don't care if people see you in that.
Oh, stop it now.
You're
Stop
looking
it.
for attention. That's why you
No,
get a car like that.
Oh, please.
Why have a convertible if you're not going to put the top down?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Here we
I had to
go.
get rid of
Here we go.
I had a convertible once. I put the top down. A guy jumped in the car with me, and I said, perhaps I shouldn't have a convertible. I said to myself, it's silly to have a convertible if I can't put the fucking top down.
So you got rid of it.
Of course.
Now he's saying he wants a car that gets attention, but he doesn't want the attention.
Yeah, he didn't want attention. You better do a follow-up story on
Oh,
that.
we already got it. He already said that he'll refuse to tweet out any photos of the car.
Right.
And he wants to know who my source is so that he
I know
can-
who your source
You
is.
absolutely
Who
do
is it?
not.
I ain't telling.
Who?
I know
Why
who
are
it
you
is.
not
I know
telling?
who it is.
Three. Name
I
them.
know who they are.
Name the three.
I know exactly
Name
who
them.
they are.
Name one of the three.
I know one of them for sure.
Who is it?
I'm not telling you.
Why?
I'm not going to rat your rats out. I won't rat.
What? Why won't you?
I'm not going to rat your rats out.
Who do you think
You got rats all over the place.
Yes,
Yeah, I know
do.
you do.
Yes, I do.
know you
and
do.
they're watching you.
Yeah, good. Let them watch me. Who gives a shit? Let them watch me.
You give a shit.
Look at you.
I'm just looking at you.
I'm
I
looking
can't
at
believe
you.
I'm seeing a grown man upset over a pace car that got out on the air.
I don't like you. I told you that. I told you that in the hallway.
And I told you you do
I
not have to
don't like
me.
you.
don't have to like me, but you can say no comment.
No
I've had
comment.
many other people not like me.
No comment, and I don't
Isn't
like
it
you.
okay to rat a rat out, though?
No.
And give your idea on who it might be?
No.
Why? Why are
absolutely
you
not.
protecting them?
Why should I?
You're protecting his source?
Because I'm not like that. I don't rat people out like he fucking rats people
I
out.
never rat people
Yeah,
out.
okay.
I never give up my sources on anything like this DePace thing. Let me tell you about this DePace thing. Go
ahead.
I have people running.
Everybody knows about that. The whole hallway knows
Yeah,
about
well,
what
he's
went
got
down.
a report on that.
I
What
have
do you know
people
about it?
I'm not saying anything. It's
All
not
right, so
my.
let
It's
John
not my
say it then.
business.
What we have
You know what,
confirmed
Ronnie?
is this.
You would make this show very successful.
Yeah. Ronnie, you don't understand. We need information so
Okay,
that we
good.
can have a show.
All right. Well, then let him do it. Let him be the rat
Well,
ass.
here we go.
Scott DePace,
Shit reporter.
according to multiple.
According to multiple sources.
Sorry, I heard the
Stinks.
shit reporter comment it.
Stinks.
You're a terrific reporter. Don't listen to him.
Stinks.
Could I please get this
Yeah, go
story
ahead.
out before I really have to take action?
Oh, ooh. Is that a threat or a promise?
No, I'm talking to Howard.
Go ahead.
Excuse me.
Be my
Go
guest.
ahead.
multiple sources, Howard, say that Scott DePace has set rules in the Howard TV control room.
I heard
he
that.
must be notified when he's being shot by a camera
Yeah.
because, in part, because he doesn't want any unflattering images of himself on the Howard TV behind the
Here's
scenes.
another
For
guy
example,
who
when
doesn't
he's
understand how we make a living.
For example, when he is sitting back in his chair.
Thanks, Scott, for taking the heat off.
He doesn't want those moments captured. And in fact, I have confirmed he shined a mag light in one of the cameramen's cameras because they were trying to get a shot of him yesterday.
Has everyone gone nuts around here?
And he called. And he called one of his producers.
How are we going to make a living?
You did call one of the producers back there unintelligent yesterday as well.
Is any of it true?
Wow.
Is any of that true? And I believe it is true.
Bits and pieces, but not for the reasons he's saying.
Go ahead.
So the first thing is,
yes,
I simply don't want a camera spying on me. I have no problem with a camera
Me neither, asshole.
Well, none of us want a camera spying.
So all I requested was that they let me know when they're shooting and when I'm in the control room. I'm in the control room doing my thing.
Yeah, but something went down that would have been good on Howard TV.
No, not once. I simply
What was the
said
event?
I want to know. Now listen. So no, let me explain to you.
John, what was the event
No,
that
let me explain.
he boycotted?
Let's hear, Howard, with all due respect, let's hear what he says so that I can contradict it with facts.
On the life of my kids, I never told them they can't shoot me. Never once.
But the other day they couldn't shoot you.
They could too.
They have to inform you.
All I said is just let me know. So a couple of segments went by when all of a sudden I look over my shoulder and there's a camera there and I'm like, hey, can you just let me know? So then apparently, so they were letting me know, but it wasn't loud enough. I wasn't hearing it. So I said, well, can you tap me on the shoulder or do something so that I know you're shooting me? And that was the whole controversy.
But I thought there was something going on that was of particular interest, and the guys were afraid to pick up the camera because they couldn't alert you during it because you were having a meltdown.
Yesterday, my switcher was melting down. I'm doing all this stuff, and you were yelling at me because there was shit in the monitor.
Right.
Rightfully.
Was that the incident?
No, there was another incident as well. During when
Tell Lee to get in here.
When Kelsey, the woman with the large breasts, came in, and there was the jumping jacks incident back in Howard TV.
Right.
My sources tell me that Scott told them not to shoot it, and in fact yelled at Greg Carmel, the cameraman, for documenting the event when he was just doing his job.
That is a lie. That's libel. I'd like
then
to
let's
take
get
that
them
person
in
to court.
Then let's get them in
Whoever
here.
That person is.
I have
That was a flat-out lie. The only reason I did it was because there was a camera.
Are
there.
you censoring what is being shot of yourself?
Never once. No.
You're not censoring.
Can I ask a question? I got a question.
Not that I'm aware of.
Scott, if you get into an argument with somebody, somebody doesn't have time to tap you on the shoulder, but it's interesting. Will they get in trouble if they shoot it?
No, I'm talking about that is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when I'm doing my job and over my shoulder there happens to be a camera there, and not when I'm arguing with someone. That's of course fair game.
Did nobody shoot it yesterday when you were having this huge argument in the hallway and Jason went out and everybody was afraid to shoot it because they were told they can't shoot you?
What is this?
All right,
This is
listen
a
to me.
bunch of
All right, listen to
bullshit.
me. Yes, Doug, what do you
Bring
want to say?
one of these people in here. Is this one of them?
That's one of them.
No. I'm actually going to defend Scott.
Listen, let me say something. Never mind your defense. Here's what I'm going to say.
Well, I'll tell you what,
I got to cut through the bullshit.
He's not interested in that.
Everyone, cut the bullshit. None of you are superstars. I am a superstar. You are not. The reason people know your name is because of me. Why do they know your name? Because we make everyone part of the show. You don't pick and choose what you can be part of. Get the cameras on and let's go, baby.
Can I just tell you what happened? Jason saw this fight, part 2. Now, I don't know why John, the great reporter, is not reporting that he has this all on. He was in there with the microphone. They had part 1. It was all on camera. It was all on. He recorded it. So they picked it up in the hallway after the show, and I guess there just wasn't a camera around.
My camera. Why don't I have the tape this morning?
I don't know.
In other words, if it were anybody else, you'd be Gary. You're not going to believe this. Jason and John Hine had a huge fight. Here's the audio.
Good point. Why is it not being shown?
I think you're going to be bored.
Is there an edict, Doug?
Why didn't you do this?
Is there an edict? I did the story yesterday on Howard 100 News with Lee versus
there you go.
Scott.
So,
but is there an edict that Scott cannot be shot in unflattering positions when he's leaning back in his chair?
No.
Well, I don't think I want to be shown that way. And if I knew a camera was on me, I probably would straighten up. Of course, I'm not an idiot.
And that's the point here. The point, what Gary is saying is, Cameras can shoot Gary ad nauseum, but you are putting rules on what cameras can show.
Well, if that's true, then tell Gary to turn that camera on 24/7. I want to see what he's doing in his office.
It's on all the time during the show.
No, it's not. He hits a button and it goes on for 10 seconds.
That's after you fucked me last year. All
right.
Lieberman, you got this one wrong, pal.
I did not get this one wrong. I totally stand by this.
All right, as long as it's straightened out now.
Yeah, sort of.
Everybody's a superstar right here. Ronnie doesn't want to be asked questions.
Yeah, they're all going no access.
No access. No access. We won't have a show anymore.
Never said it.
Lieberman, good job.
Thank you.
Bullshit.
Good job. Bullshit.
No comment. Scott.
Well, I got King of All Blacks wants to comment. Thank you, Red Gypsy. King of All Blacks, yes.
Yeah, Ronnie, and a couple other people up there, they want to be you,
right?
But without the criticism,
right?
Like, they just want to chill and be a superstar, but they want to be you, like, because it seems like you don't get any criticism from people,
right?
So they want to be like you, and,
right?
And what's going to happen eventually is that they're going to grow a hatred to you,
right? King's on track with this.
Yeah, you know I'm always on track.
Not always, but this time you are.
Yeah, I was like, boy, he's making sense.
Yeah, I mean, look at this guy. All of a sudden, he's making sense.
How's my phone sound?
The phone
Not
is
that great.
It's not great. I don't know why, but thank you, King. All right, Mark, you have the last word on this, and then I really do have to take a break. And then we'll do a nude workout and a lot of other things, Robin. If you can undress during the commercial.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, smart.
Everybody else, too.
Yeah. Not just you. What is it, Mark?
I love you, Howard. I got to say, Ronnie seems to be a bit insecure. I think he realizes he might be in over his head, and he's pedaling desperately to try to keep his head above water. That might be why he's so offensive every time he thinks someone's attacking him.
Yeah, he goes on the offense. You're right. I mean, guy says to me, "Did you get a new car?" He's like, "Oh, get a new car. Fuck you, you asshole."
Yeah,
I mean, but the
you
cursing.
could brag about that, wouldn't you? I mean, shouldn't that give him bragging rights?
Sure, why not? Listen, Ronnie says Howard has his things. He likes new electronics. If Lieberman says you get a new phone, yeah, I got a new phone.
Hey, Howard?
And he talks about it.
I can almost understand why DePace would be kind of ticked off. He just doesn't, he doesn't want unflattering pictures of himself taken. I don't think that's right that he makes that edict, but that's his edict.
Yeah, he certainly takes unflattering pictures of us.
I don't understand the Ronnie thing even for a second.
Yeah, no.
I mean, Ronnie wants to be a judge on the intern beauty pageant. Ronnie wants to come in here and help out with Kelsey and the bathing suits. But the other part of that is also allowing yourself to be exposed in other ways.
Absolutely.
I don't get it.
Well, the best is I bought a car that everyone will look at, and I don't want them looking at me.
Yeah, he doesn't want attention.
So either he's crazy or he's retarded.
He's got to calm down a little, and you know what it is. He's getting very big with his Ronnie Block party.
I think he needs some psychotherapy.
That's the problem. You're getting a little. You got the Ronnie Block party.
Right, Fred.
What?
I'm crazy. I told you that.
I'm just really trying to understand this, Ronnie. I don't understand like the venom towards Lieberman. I mean, Lieberman's just doing
Fuck
his
Lieberman.
job. Why?
He's a shyster reporter. I don't like him.
He's a what?
Shyster.
A shyster.
A shyster's
I don't
a
like
lawyer.
him.
You know what a shyster is?
Yeah, I know what a shyster.
What is a shyster?
Never mind.
All right, that's right.
I don't know. Whatever.
Listen.
But you're funny too.
Calm down.
No, I don't. What am I doing? I'm not doing anything.
That's right. You do nothing.
I'm not doing.
So be happy.
Yeah,
you got to go.
Yeah, here we go.
Well, I just agreed with you.
Here we go.
I agreed with you.
Nothing.
You do. You said I don't do anything. I go. I agree.
All right. You're right. I do nothing.
Wait, I agree with you.
I do nothing. You're right. Why do you have me? If I do nothing, you're right.
If I agree with you,
I'm part of the wallpaper.
No, you're right.
I'm fucking crazy. I told you that.
Didn't you have Lieberman to your house for a barbecue? Didn't you have Lieberman to your house for a barbecue?
Yeah, because I like his girlfriend. I can't stand him.
Oh, what, John?
No.
Didn't he have you to a barbecue?
And his nice son. He has a nice son.
Yeah.
But he's a douchebag. I'm sorry.
You like his girlfriend and his son.
Okay, let me tell you something. Jim McClure just sent me an interesting email, and this should put this to rest.
Look at you.
You told everybody at the barbecue.
Look how angry you are.
You told everybody at the barbecue that you had, which I attended.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That about the pace car. So it can't be a secret. You wanted it known. I didn't hear it there, but you wanted it known.
No, I told friends of mine what I was doing.
Oh, you know when
You're
you
not
tell
my friend.
people that it's going to get... You're not my friend either. Good. And by calling on me to be fired yesterday, that is extremely disrespectful.
Look, yeah, that's the part you missed on the wrap-up show.
Because I would never question you in your capacity. I would never say, Howard,
Dude,
I think this guy should be fired.
I was tweaking your buttons just like everybody else does to me. And you didn't like it at all.
And
you went off the deep end when I said that to you.
And
you
DePace
went
is a
off
man.
the deep end.
I will give this to
Ronnie,
DePace.
You went over the line. He never criticizes your job.
Never.
Oh, I was screwing around with him like everybody does to me.
You
Okay.
went over the line.
All right. Yeah, I go over.
I don't make personal attacks.
I go over the line.
You said he's not
I
competent.
go over the line.
You said he was incompetent.
Look. At least Scott DePace stood...
Yes, sir, General!
At least Scott DePace stood there. Listen to me. At least Scott DePace stood there just now and answered my questions.
Good for him.
Admitting that he has put rules on when the camera can shoot him. He must be alerted.
You're Jewish.
You just told me...
Dude, you're Jewish. What are you talking with your hands for? Jewish people don't talk with their hands.
Scott, you just told me...
Italians do, like me.
Scott,
what the hell's wrong with you?
Scott, you just told me that you
Look at him.
alerted everybody that you have to be told when you are being shot.
Where's your black dick, man? Let me see it.
Yes, that's true.
Thank you. Howard, did you hear
that?
that?
Yes, listen, you don't have to justify this to me.
You're so upset.
I am not upset at all, but I don't like... I do not like when my professionalism and my profession is questioned. I know how to be a reporter, and I am not here to explain to you. I am not here to explain to you the fundamentals of journalism.
Going up.
All right,
you're going to blow an eye vessel like me, man. Look out.
But now you pissed off John.
I'm done.
Did he just throw down the
Yeah. It's getting crazy.
Everybody around here is nuts.
Mark, go ahead because I got to take a break.
I feel for you, Ronnie. It really sucks when it feels like people are teaming up on you.
Well,
but, hey, you got people out there that are supporting you. I'm not sure where they are, but they're out there, okay?
Teaming up on him. They asked him if he got a new car.
Yeah. I don't know quite what to say about it. Maybe he's self-hating and projecting it on others. I can't quite...
I mean, what kind of question is that to blow up over?
Don't you want to know about Ronnie's new car?
Yeah, but he certainly doesn't want me to. That's why I'm on for
But he's driving around in a pace car. I mean, he's not in the Indy 500.
That's like waving a flag.
I mean, that's like me going out in my Fartman costume saying, please don't comment on what I'm wearing.
It's like skywriting and saying, please don't read the note.
Right. I mean, what is that?
It's like a woman walking out with Band-Aids on her nipples
I'm
and saying,
walk
don't
out of
stare
my
at my
house.
tits.
I'm going to walk out of my house naked and then say, please don't comment on it. I mean, what is that? Yeah, Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, if Ronnie can't handle jokes about his pace car, how's he going to handle all the jokes after Richard blows him? Because even if Ronnie takes the show, he's going to get jokes about it for the rest of his life.
All right, thank you, Matt. You had the last word on that.
I'm telling you, we're getting into a weird area with those two in a funny way. So it's out there. So Ronnie's doing this weird move. Ronnie's just leaning against the wall, and Ronnie's at the far wall, and Lieberman's over here by the green room, and they're just yelling at each other. And Ronnie's like the guy in the movie, like the gangster, like flipping the coin. He goes, "You're a shit reporter." And for some, I don't know why, but Lieberman goes, "Fuck you! I'm not a shit reporter." I'm telling you, it's getting weird.
Oh my God. Do they know that?
It's completely repetitive, by the way. Like you could go out there an hour, and the conversation will have not changed at all.
Started up again. It's like that Star Trek.
But Ronnie has figured. But here's the funny thing. Ronnie has figured out if he calls him a shit reporter, it gets under his skin. Right. But Ronnie can't. We talked about this on Rapid News. Ronnie doesn't understand how you rile him up to get under his skin. He doesn't. No, he doesn't like me. I go, but you don't really not like Lieberman. You're just fucking with him. He goes, I know. It's very interesting.
John, why did you finally crack with this Ronnie nonsense? What pushed you over the edge today?
Calling me a shit reporter.
I only speak the truth.
But you're typically able to separate the two. You're typically...
I am, but you know what, Greg? I am able to separate the two, but I don't like to be called a shit reporter in front of millions of listeners and viewers of Howard TV. I mean, nobody likes their professionalism questioned, and that was the point. I've never once questioned Ronnie's professionalism. I've never once said Ronnie's a bad security guard, or Ronnie isn't good at his job, or Ronnie isn't good in this way. I was simply reporting a story, which, Greg, I want to point out, turned out to be true. The story I reported was true. He has a pace car. That is the bottom line here. And Ronnie trying to tell me how to be a reporter is completely and utterly ridiculous. And then suggesting that I should be fired goes too far. It just goes too far.
What do you think this speaks to? I mean, why would Ronnie take these roads? Why would he go down these avenues?
Because... Fuck. Because when you have no defense and you're backed into a corner, you scratch and claw your way out. And that's
I'm always watching you.
Exactly. But this Ronnie thing is not going to end, because the reality is, when you break it down, he knows how to push my buttons and I know how to push his. This may go on forever.
Just remember, I'm here behind you, man. I'm always around.
Watch those cupcakes. He's put on a few pounds with the cupcakes.
He's worried about me watching cupcakes. You should be watching the TV screen, man.
Is it safe to say that the honeymoon is over? That your little golden era that you enjoyed
my
the first
1 year.
year?
You know, this week marks my 1 year. I think the honeymoon, or maybe it was, it marks my 1 year. So my honeymoon's over. But, you know, at the end of the day, we'll just have to see what happens moving forward.
Keep up the good work, John. It's a sign of your solid reporting that you've started to crack some of the team members around here.
Thank you, Greg. You're next.
Sucks.
Ronnie.
Yeah.
You get a special kind of kick out of when you get a rise out of John Lieberman or any of the news reporters.
You know, everybody's got their guy they pounds on around here. I'm one of the guys that gets pounded on by everybody. So you know what? I like giving it back now. I like it, man. I'm pounding.
No more punching bag.
I'm pounding, man.
You're doing the punching.
I found my punching bag.
And now
I know how to get to him. I know how to get to him, man. Could you close that door, please?
Why did this story
in
particular get to you? I mean, there have been far worse things reported about you than having a pace car.
I just want to be left alone. Leave me alone when it comes to that.
But don't you
think... want people following you around the fucking street?
Well, of course not. But don't you think...
I mean, I don't mind. I like people. I like doing the comedy shows. I like going out there and seeing everybody. But I don't need them following me around in my car. Do you get my point on that?
Do you not like
John... Do you get my point on that?
I thought that was a rhetorical question.
Do you get my point?
Yes.
That's all I'm asking.
Yes.
Do you get my point?
Yes.
Never mind. You're like the rest of them.
But why did this story in particular really set you up? There have been far worse things.
I just told you. What don't you understand about that?
I guess I didn't get your point.
What don't you understand about that?
Yeah, I guess I didn't get it.
I guess not. Have a lovely day, please.
All right, Robin, let's hear from John Hein. John Hein, what's on the wrap-up show right now?
Scott DePace denies that he must be notified when he's being shot on camera.
Yeah. Oh, everyone's got rules all of a sudden, but we're going to clear all that up.
Edict in these parts.
Deny that.
Just keep the... I am the boss around here. Keep a camera on him. That's it. No more rules with it. Everyone has special rules. Tim all of a sudden goes, don't tweet this, don't put this on. This one, Doug Goodstein has the rules. Everyone's got rules around here. This is how we make a living. If you don't like it, you should work somewhere else.
So can we put a camera on you when you don't realize it's there?
There's a camera on me all the time.
No, but when you don't...
When I'm doing the show. During the show hours, there's a camera on me all the time. That's it. Wait, what do you...
I never once said it can't be. I just want to know when it is. That's...
It's on you now. It's on you all the time. Now you know. So how can you not know? It's on you all the time.
So, all right, and...
Now you know.
That goes for everyone, right? I could just walk up behind him with a camera. Anyone here?
Sure.
At any time I want. That's what we do all day.
What do you think we're doing? What do you think's in the halls with Howard TV? You work for Howard TV.
There's a light on and you know that it's there. This is totally hidden.
What? Hidden? Get out of here.
Scott, when there's a
what
camera,
show do you work
your
for?
studio is not lit, so whenever there's a camera on, it should be a light on. No, that's where you're wrong, Gary, because I can't...
You don't see it as a camera?
I can't see the monitor.
All right, listen to me, Scott. I'm going to explain it again. It's so simple. There's a camera on you all the time. Now you know.
I installed my own camera for that. I don't want a camera sneaking up behind me.
Hold on.
Well, we work on the Howard Stern show. We have cameras on. You work for Howard TV.
He's a director, not a...
The direct. You ever watch the Academy Awards? They got a fucking camera on them.
I'm the producer, and Lieberman's there. I'm the producer. Lieberman's a news guy. Lisa's a news person. Fred does everything, and we all participate in the show.
And Scott, if you do that, that means everyone else does that, and then we don't have a show. And Howard TV doesn't have a channel, and you got to go find a new job.
Why are you
Can I
different?
put the camera on Gary full time then? I want the camera on full time.
But we're not saying put it on you full time. We're saying when something interesting is happening, like in the hallway when two people fight, there's no light.
You know what? He clearly doesn't understand how he's paid.
No, both of you guys don't understand. I fully understand. I've never once said no.
Scott, the camera is on you during the show. That's it.
Here's what it really is about.
At any time.
I want to see. How do I know if Gary's doing
It's
something
on
interesting?
all the time.
Can Gary's be on all the time?
Why is it about me? It's about you.
We have a camera in the hallway. They run around with it all the
Gary.
Here's what this is about, Howard. I'm going to tell you right now. This is what it's about, which is the stupidest thing. Sometimes when it gets late in the show, Scott slouches in his chair.
Right.
You're like way down low, like almost like he looks like he's falling asleep. And he does not want to be shot like that. And he's told people, don't shoot me like that.
Shoot him slouching in his chair. I want to know when he's slouching in his chair.
That is not what
And the camera is now on, and it will be turned off.
Again, you have it wrong.
The camera is now on. In fact, if you look behind you, there's a cameraman. Take a look behind you. There he is. There's a cameraman. His name is Jason.
Oh, it's a big fat guy.
Yeah.
Give me your best.
The camera's now on, and it's going to be turned off in 2015 when there's no Howard TV and there's no more Howard Stern show, and then everyone will go get a new job where there's no camera.
Okay, I swear to God.
Don't slouch in your chair.
I'm sneaking up behind everyone with a camera. I'm going to find stuff.
Good.
I'm going to see
Go ahead.
doing stuff. I'm
Good.
gonna see
I can't wait to see
Jason,
it.
Will,
Howard
just wait.
TV fans will love it.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of tape.
Thank you. Gee whiz, he doesn't know the camera's on?
Scott, real quick. What's Howard not understanding about your...
Oh my God, fucking everything. Everything he gets wrong. It's unbelievable at this point. He doesn't understand that, you know, this is a 5-hour show, and to have a camera sneak up behind you, I'm not into. And you know what I'll do? To punish him, I'm going to clam up, and they're going to get nothing out of me. How about that?
Well, explain what you're doing. I mean, right here, you're having to pay attention to monitors. You're not able to know what you're trying to say is you're not able
Thank you, because
see.
You're helping me out.
You don't have the visual cue of a light coming up behind you because that light would impede you from doing your job.
Right.
Just like if my light or Rob's light impeded one of them from doing their job, they require us to turn it off.
Yeah. Like if I did this to you, you couldn't shoot me.
Could potentially ruin my lens.
So, yeah, it's a sneaky thing. It's basically having a hidden camera on me all the time. So I don't understand why it's different with Gary. Why can't he have a camera on him all the time? And let me see if something is interesting or not. So, what do you do? I don't get it.
Did Roseanne lay down any rules? Was there anything to not speak about? And why does she put herself in that position where, I mean, she pretty much knows going in it's going to be a boatload of fat jokes and stuff. Like, I would guess, somebody said yesterday, would Howard put any controls on it? And I said, yeah, you probably would. I didn't say this on the air, but in my mind, you wouldn't want anybody to talk about your ex-wife. You want anybody to talk about your kids.
Right, right.
So why is, like, there's a mindset, like Roseanne's saying, the gloves are off, man. Fucking hit me wherever you want. And I don't know why
you would put yourself
yeah.
through, like, what is the...
See, the other thing, too, is, here's the thing. You're in a better position I think there's a part of Roseanne that does it because there's a need
to be in the limelight,
or to be, whether it's promoting a show that's coming up. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to be there. I think everyone who does it needs to be there for a reason. I think there's a psychological mindset there that's a little weird that you should explore.
Okay.
Roseanne's supposed to call in just a minute or two.
Yeah?
Yeah, you know, they had this roast for Roseanne. I compiled a bunch of articles. These are some of the jokes. A guy named Anthony Jeselnik said, Roseanne, what does it say about you that when you accused your father of incest, there was an outpouring of sympathy for your father? That's pretty good. Amy Schumer said of Roseanne, I was surprised you were running for president. I just think a lot of people just couldn't even picture you, like, running. I thought that was good.
Yeah.
Seth Green said, the thing with Roseanne is she has enough money not to work, but she still does a TV show every few years to punish the rest of us. You've even had 2 reality shows, which is a lot for someone who is completely out of touch with reality.
Good.
Yeah. Katie Segal said, it's great to see Roseanne back in the spotlight. Technically, it's 2 spotlights, but you get the idea. A lot of fat jokes, you know.
Right.
Jeff Ross said, folks, in case you don't know where Hawaii is, it's just off the coast of Roseanne. And then he says to Roseanne, it means you're fat. You want to hear a few more of these?
Sure.
All right, Wayne Brady said, Roseanne, it's been said that you stole Sam Kinnison's style. You're fat, loud, and you died in the 90s. That's good. But, Roseanne, you had to overcome a lot to make it in Hollywood, and that's why I love you. Bad marriages, mental illness, plus you look like Roseanne.
Oh.
You're oversized, beat up, and you reek of marijuana. You're kind of like Willie Nelson's tour bus, except people still want to ride that. I think that's real strong. Carrie Fisher said, you're a follower of the Kabbalah. How embarrassing for you, which is a form of Jewish mysticism. You know what else would be a form of Jewish mysticism? Hollywood giving you another show. Let's see what else. Gilbert Gottfried. Tonight it's our chance to end the reign of Rozilla forever. Evidently he kept referring to her as Rozilla.
Rozilla.
Everyone grab your torches and lead her to the pit. She'll think it's a barbecue. Rozilla.
Oh, my goodness.
Let's see. What did Tom Arnold say here? A lot of these we heard already. I had Rosie's face tattooed on my chest. Believe me, it's hard for a woman to have sex with you when Roseanne is staring at her. Yeah. It's even harder to masturbate. Rosie, this is true. Had I loved Tom Arnold tattooed... Oh, I said, Rose... I don't know, this is weirdly written, but he had I love Tom Arnold tattooed... She had Tom Arnold... I don't know what this is. Rosie had I love Tom Arnold tattooed on her hip, which made me the 4th largest property owner in California.
Oh.
I knew there was a good joke in there somewhere. Rosie, there's no reason to be jealous of my wife, Ashley. She's tall and thin and wasn't even born when we were married. Plus... I've learned from your biggest mistake. I made her sign a prenup. I thought that was pretty good. To Roseanne's boyfriend, I want to say to you, man, no matter what, you've got to stick with this woman. She may not be the perfect wife, but trust me, she's the worst ex-wife on the planet. Literally. You do not want to be the guy on the couch with your date and hear how small your penis is on Saturday Night Live. And then The View, and then CNN, and then Al Jazeera. She holds a grudge. Recently, Roseanne got in trouble for wishing cancer on a Chick-fil-A customer. But you guys can all relax. If she had the power to wish cancer on anyone, I would have been dead in 94. All right. Not so good?
Well,
Anyway.
maybe it was his delivery.
Maybe he had a better delivery than I did. All right, Roseanne's on the phone.
Oh, good.
Hey, Roseanne. Roseanne?
Yeah, hi, Howard.
You okay, baby?
Oh, God, it's early.
I know. I'm so sorry.
Where
You're up
are
this
you?
early.
You still out in Los Angeles?
LA. It's like 5:30. Hey, can you swear on this show?
Yes.
Oh, fucking great.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want here. There's complete freedom of speech. Roseanne, why would anyone, especially a woman in your position, why would you put yourself through a roast? Seriously, from a psychological point of view, I mean, it's endless fat jokes. Like, I was even thinking about it for myself. Like, if someone said to me they want to roast me, I don't think I'd want to put myself through it.
Why? It's fun.
Is it, though? I mean...
Well, it is. I mean, I'd say that over the whole, it took about 3 hours to film it,
Right.
But, when it was up and running, there's some damn good jokes, man. It's good to laugh at yourself. It's, it's kind of a test to see how sound you are mentally and spiritually and everything else, like a warrior thing. And I knew I could do it. And,
but could you really, but Roseanne, did you lay down rules? Like, I think if I had to be roasted, I think I would lay down some rules. I would say, look, I don't want you talking about my kids. I don't want you talking about, I wouldn't even want them talking about my ex-wife. You know what I'm saying?
I do, and I did. Yeah, I asked them, not to make jokes about certain things about me, and I asked them to make sure that they didn't, do the stuff the kind of jokes they like to tell about any woman. I told them to class it up, bring it up to first grade, guys.
All right. When you say you laid down rules, what did you specifically say to lay off?
Well, don't talk about women's body parts and their smell and all that friggin' ridiculous kind of snake-like joke that a lot of guys think is funny, and it's not, because there were a lot of women up there. So I just asked them to class it up, and they did. They did a great job.
Because then it's too easy. You said, like when like sometimes
no easy. Yeah, well, don't talk about no shit jokes. When I did Roseanne, that was my rule. You're not getting one shit joke in there.
Or like your pussy smells, or this kind of thing, like where they just take a woman's private parts and just rip them apart, so to speak.
Yeah, because there's other things you can make fun of a person for besides their asshole.
Right, and when a guy said, when someone gets up there and says, "Oh, Roseanne was molested as a child," which is something that caused you a lot of pain, and Roseanne was molested as a child, and I feel so bad for her father, that kind of thing. That didn't sting a little bit?
Actually, I told him don't do, if you're going to do any jokes like that, don't have it be like like Sandusky would laugh.
Right. Like where a guy would think, oh yeah, it's okay to molest someone.
Yeah, but the one that they did, I guess they're going to take it out. They've been real nice to me, and of course I wouldn't have done it if they hadn't listened. But
right.
There were two jokes like that, and one of them I thought was really funny. I didn't think I would, but they say they're going to take him out, and now I find myself saying, leave that one, which you never know what you're going to do,
Which one was that? Was that the Seth Green? They say they're going to take out the Seth Green comment where Jeff Ross compared him to the shooter in Colorado. I think they shouldn't take that out. I don't think it was disparaging to the victims of that thing. It was more disparaging to Seth Green and his movie career.
Well, I guess they've had a few calls, and they're. But yeah, the whole reason you have a comedy channel and a comedy roast and that level of comics is to push the envelope and to try to go over the line. I mean, that proves we have a country of free speech. If you're going to go over the line, where is the line? You don't know till you go over it, and I kind of think it's important to keep that. But I was going to tell you the joke that I did think was funny, that I was mad about getting molested because I didn't get the candy.
Right,
I
Jeff
thought
did
that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was brilliant, really.
Yeah, it's going the right way with it. I mean, of course, Howard and Robin, we could tell jokes about anything. It's just how we say them,
Well, you're absolutely right. I was saying, especially with this show, I've been in trouble many times because I don't even get the luxury of preparing my comments. Sometimes I'm talking off the cuff. Making people laugh is the hardest thing in the world.
You know what? But you're right, Howard, and it's like one of the most noble, too, especially in these tough times, and that's why I wanted to do it, because I'm like, man, people need to laugh. I need to laugh, and of course, I just love jokes, and I love being around comedians, and I just love that level of thought and on-your-feet stuff, Howard, that we do. It's awesome.
Roseanne, was there anybody there who tanked, in your opinion, who bombed, like didn't come off well making fun of you?
You know what? Nobody tanked. Everybody was real funny. There was, I thought, of all the funny things that, I thought that the Wayne Brady, his joke was the one that most went over the line. And
the Sam Kinison, you're fat, you're loud, and you died in the 90s, that thing, you had to overcome a lot to make it in Hollywood. That's why I love you. Bad marriages, mental illness, plus you look like Roseanne.
No, not that one. I thought those were kind of funny.
Right.
There was just, One that was like, ugh.
What do you say?
I can't remember because I have no memory because I smoke too much pot. But, you know, it was whatever where there was a cringe moment. But, you know, I just put my hands over my eyes on the cringe moments, and I only did that 3 times. And one was, of course, on the Colorado shooting one because, you know.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Although I think it should be there, and people, you know, they did get mad and like groan and stuff like that. But you know, you got to respect a brave comic that'll go out there. You know, look what happened to Gilbert.
Right.
We can't keep letting them take us down like that. You know, we have freedom of speech here.
Right. You're referring to Gilbert tweeted a tsunami joke after the Japanese tsunami. And he lost his
job,
he lost his gig and stuff. Yeah, it's a weird thing because you know people don't realize how hard it is to know that line. You know, and I told this story yesterday to Jeff Ross. I said I was on Letterman right after the OJ thing went on, and before any comedian made a joke, I went on there and made an OJ reference, a joke, and Letterman really kind of blasted me for it. And then 3 days later, he was making OJ jokes. It was suddenly okay. And that always struck me as like, well, someone's got to test the waters, right?
Yeah, and also I think psychically, you know, the one that tells the first joke is the one that kind of bursts the toxic bubble that we're, you know, it, like once we laugh at it, you know,
right.
You know, we kind of heal it a little bit, I think, you know.
Yeah, it's a tough line. Did you recently apologize for some of your tweets?
You know what? I apologize that I used the wrong word to convey a thought. It's really hard on there because you only get 140 characters, and
right.
I used the wrong word. I realized after. I couldn't understand why people were so angry, so I reread it about 50 times, and I was like, well, what? And then it hit me that I had used the word deserves, and it's not at all what I meant.
You're talking about Chick-fil-A, right?
Yeah, I said anyone who eats hormone-infused, antibiotic-filled, factory-farmed chicken, you know, deserves the cancer they're going to get. And, you know, that was after like 50 or 100 million tweets going, you're un-American. You know, I just got too pissed, and I spit out deserves, where I shouldn't have used the word deserves. What I was trying to say is, hey, if you eat shit, you're going to get sick.
Right, and you know, to me, now I will probably end up following you on Twitter because that sounds like you're saying something interesting, but as soon as you say something interesting along those lines, you get crap, and then it kind of beats the crap out of you to the point that you don't Twitter, and then you don't say anything interesting, right?
Yeah, I take a break once the idiot factor, you know, reaches tipping point. I just walk away for a while.
And with the Chick-fil-A thing, you know, I can't believe how many people don't understand. This isn't a freedom of. No one's saying the guy from Chick-fil-A can't say what he wants to say.
Well, he's trying to spin the shit, you know, and say now that it's freedom of speech. It is certainly not about that.
That's right.
People in America, they can't friggin' name the shit. You know, they can't be accurate and name the shit anymore. And then people make sure that they can't.
Yeah, it's subterfuge. The guy from Chick-fil-A, what I'm saying is because I believe people have a right to get married and gay people have to have a freedom should feel as good about themselves as anybody else. They're saying, hey, listen, why should we support Chick-fil-A if they're going to be like this?
Right.
I mean, the dopey guy should just keep his mouth shut and serve the stupid chicken. I mean, that's any good businessman knows that. Don't give your political views.
Yeah, especially when they're that extreme, and they include, like, deporting gays. I mean, it's not just about gay marriage. He says it is, but that guy, Mr. Cathy, he gave $5 million last year to these real extreme anti-gay things that say that, you know, that gays should be deported, among other things, and that, you know, pretty much hate speech setting them up to get, you know, attacked on the street.
Where does he suggest we deport them to? The moon? I mean, what, he doesn't have any gay people? Here's what's the problem with a guy like that. He doesn't know any gay people. He doesn't have any gay relatives. He might even have a gay child.
Well, his name's Mr. Cathy. That's what cracks me up.
Yeah, Cathy. Well, maybe that's it. He's a little sensitive. Maybe he's trying to show how manly he is or something. I don't know. Now, are you still running for president?
Yeah, I'm still doing it, Howard.
And are you actually, like, in other words, when I go to vote, will I see the name Roseanne there?
Well, that's what it's really all about. The reason I'm doing it, Howard, is because it's about ballot access. Now, the party that I was elected, we're on the ballot in 14 states. The point point is that a party, other than this two-headed monster, this two-headed Republican monster, there should be a third party that people have a real choice, not two sides of the same coin. Like, okay, both Romney and Obama work for Wall Street. People should have a choice of a candidate who does not, and so that isn't even on the ballot in anything but 14 states.
What is the party?
That's what I'm trying to increase.
What is the party you're with?
Peace and freedom.
And in other words, your point is if I can get this peace and freedom third party on more, you get a certain amount of votes, and then automatically it gets added to the voting booth.
Right. Well, my point is that people should have a socialist choice in at least a conversation. It should at least be included in the conversation, since it is the thing that saved this country after the last time Wall Street fucked us.
If you so when you go into the voting booth, are you going to vote for yourself, or will you vote for Obama or Romney?
Well, everybody has to ask themselves big moral questions, and of course, I plan to vote for myself because I do think that I'm the only candidate who isn't bought and sold and full of shit. And but it depends. Of course, even though I think they're basically the same, I think Obama's better than Romney. I think that he's 2% better.
Mm-hmm. What if you actually? What if something bizarre happened and you actually become president?
Then this country would be on its way to prosperity and peace and freedom. If I was president, believe me, there's no way that I know exactly how to fix every problem, and I know exactly how to do it, and I do it immediately, like they did it in Iceland. Read about Iceland, Howard. They kicked out the Fed, the Federal Reserve, and their economy is booming after 3 months because there's nobody there just stealing their damn money.
Well, I read that part of your platform is if you really do become president, you're going to drone attack Tom Arnold's house. What did you ask Willie Nelson to be your vice president?
I did, and he accepted.
He did, because the report I got was that he turned you down.
No. First he turned me down, and then he accepted. And I was so happy when he accepted my campaign and everything, and then like 1 hour later he withdrew.
So you still don't have a running mate?
I want some of the shit he's smoking.
Yeah. Do you smoke a lot of weed? Because there were a lot of references that you smoke weed.
You know what, Howard? I have glaucoma, and I have medical marijuana. In California, it's legal.
Do you really have glaucoma, or is that just sort of something you got your doctor to go along with?
Well, it was cured, but she's still treating
right. Oh, she's treating it.
I'm almost all but blind in my left eye now, and I probably have to have surgery and all kinds of crazy stuff. My eyes are, nothing.
I didn't know that. I'm sorry to hear that. Are you baked like 24 hours a day? Is it that much pot use?
Oh no, I only I take about one drag in the morning, Howard. I don't do it in the afternoon or at night.
Why the morning? That gets you sort of...
I have to read a lot in the morning,
So you're saying it really does alleviate the symptoms of glaucoma?
Yeah, you have a lot of pressure in your eyes, and it does relieve it, and you can see better. But also, I just found out I also have cataracts. Christ, now I'm talking about how goddamn old I am. But can you believe cataracts?
It's depressing, isn't it?
Oh, it's just so fucking depressing. I guess I needed a laugh, and loved being around people laughing. The audience was wonderful, and
and talk to me about the decision. Take me through this decision, because I had Tom Arnold on my show, I'd say about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. And by the way, Tom did a really good job being on the show. He was witty, he was funny, he got people laughing. He was talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger and his time.
I'm glad people like him and think he's funny now. When we were married, everybody was saying he wasn't funny.
You're right. And I was one of them.
Maybe we would have got along better if we hadn't had all that pressure constantly saying, that he's not funny and all that shit, which I felt they were just coming after me anyway. But, yeah, he is funny.
But did that influence you in your relationship with him? Like, when enough people keep saying he's just using Roseanne for her money, he's not funny, he's a user, he has no talent of his own, do you start to actually believe the people who are saying that?
No, I never believed it because, he was, I knew he was funny. I hired him to write for me. That's how we, made a relationship. But you know, it did affect us. Like, you know, that kind of stuff does affect couples.
You're
And
damn right it
you know,
does.
it made him feel real bad. And then he, you know, he would get mean about it, but he directed at me. So that's what ruined it.
Yeah, I've
He'd go
apologized
like,
to him.
Don't tell them. He'd go, you call them and tell them I am funny. You know, and he'd like be screaming until I did pick up the phone and go, hey, I want you to. And then he'd write down what I was supposed to say, or else, you know, he'd just be screaming. Like, so I go, I want you to know. And, you know, part of me, of course, I wanted to defend him, but, you know, it was just like that was what my marriage was like, walking on eggshells. Anytime anybody said anything, I knew that, you know, it was going to be emotional price to pay. Like a lot of people who have unhappy, what do you call it?
Spouses,
you know, it
Yeah.
makes your life fucking hell.
Yeah, you know, I never even stopped to consider that. Like all of the shitty thing, and I count myself among them, and I've apologized to Tom about this because, you know.
Well, hey, I thank you because I'm damn glad I ain't married to that son of a bitch anymore.
Yeah, right. I know, but in a way, when you saw him at the roast,
yeah,
was there a part of you that still loved him?
I thought his head was fucking huge. I couldn't believe how big his head got.
Well, it seems like he's done some plastic surgery, right?
I have no idea. We haven't even talked in 19 years. I'll tell you, when he was coming on, you know, first we heard that he did not want to do it, right?
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, he was on my show, and I forget if we talked about it off the air or on the air.
No, it was on the air.
He was on the. He said something to me. If Roseanne asked me to do it, would you think I should do it? Was that it, Robin? How did it go down?
It somehow came up like that, and he was saying, well, I don't think she wants to see me. I would do it, but I don't think she is open to it.
Yeah, he asked my opinion. Yeah, go ahead, Gary.
I remember because TMZ had reported that they had asked him, and I remember him saying that he wasn't sure that he wanted to do it. He thought that it was bad for his mental health, that he was like in a good place, and he wasn't sure he wanted to stir all that up again.
Yeah, that's what it was. I think he was really nervous and sort of scared to sort of see you, and I don't blame him.
You know, but then he started calling. Then he gave a call over to Comedy Central, and he told them, you know, he would be happy. He would be very happy to do it if asked.
Yeah, well, I kind of said to him, I said, Tom, it will be the greatest showbiz moment to see you and Roseanne. I said, if you can get through it, and if you can, you know, go there with a good spirit, it will be phenomenal.
Well, you know, at first he said he would, like Willie Nelson. Then the next day he said he wouldn't. Then the next day his publicist said they wouldn't let him. I called him, you know, and I left a message on his phone, and I said, hey, you know, you have my personal guarantee that it's not going to get ugly. None of this roast is going to be ugly and filthy. You know, right. I at least, you know, I have control over that, and they're very gracious. And I give you my word that nothing, you know, to harm you or make you feel horrible or ruin your career or your life or anything like that's going to happen. And it's just a good opportunity for both of us to show the world that we've moved on, and this is a brand new day. And
but have you moved
my
on?
heart's in the right place, and I hope you'll show up and tell some jokes. Will be great.
Oh.
So then the next thing, people came in my, you know. But I want to say, you know, I thought it was a good enough roast without him, but I thought, well, everybody kept asking me, so why not give the fans what they want, right?
Well, your first reaction was, hey, I don't want him. He was the one guy you made a stipulation. I don't want him on the roast, right? That was your initial reaction.
No, I always thought, you know, that I would ask him.
Oh, you did?
You know, everybody wants to see that. So, I mean, my first thing is, you know, I want to entertain the audience. So you got to do what you got to do, right?
What do you think that is about performers? That you'll actually put your own mental health at risk just to please the
I wasn't
audience?
putting my mental health at risk at all.
Well, seeing him again might set you off in the sense that, like, you go, oh, what the fuck? You know, I'm done with this guy. I don't want to be a part of this guy anymore. But you know what? Fuck it. It's going to be great television. I'll put myself through it.
Well, I knew that. It wasn't going to, like, and I know I don't have any emotional investment in it whatsoever. So I knew it wasn't going to upset me unless, you know, he took off after me. But I knew he was smarter than that because, you know, I figured the first time when he said no, it's because he can't take the retort. And, you know, it's a harsh retort.
Right.
But, you know, he took it, so I thought that was brave. But afterwards, you know, I thanked him, and And I said, well, onward and upward. Good luck to you in your life. And, it's a good thing. Also, all the shit going on in our country, all this hate, I sort of thought, hey, if I can have this moment and show it, maybe I'll influence other people. Get past old shit. Even politically, countries, maybe I say in my act, or when I followed him, I said, I realized that if I could bury my boiling, ceaseless hatred for Tom Arnold, there could maybe be peace in the Middle East.
Yeah, no, I remember. I mean, it was such a vicious hatred in the sense that you even said, hey, he took millions of dollars of mine that I had in a box or something. I don't remember the exact story you told me. But, you felt he had stolen from you. And so I guess my question was, gee, when you really go through something like that and you still kind of harbor those feelings and you finally just kind of wipe this guy out of your mind, you don't have to see him anymore, this, that, and the other thing, you kind of put that all aside to please the audience, and that's what's crazy about performers, myself included. There's sometimes I'll do stuff I don't even want to do, but I know it'll be great television or radio.
Yeah, you're right there. And comics and stuff, we'll do anything for a laugh. I mean, of course, we've all embarrassed ourselves at some point, but that's just part of it. We're open people and honest.
But Tom's very well off now. Do you think he should pay you back?
Yeah, I do.
Yep. Yeah, I know you do.
I sure do.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm
that's my kid's money. He definitely should pay me back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like so, but somehow you put that aside, and even after the roast, it would have been awkward if you didn't go up to him and say anything. Yeah, so you walked over to him. He didn't walk over to you.
No, he went backstage, and I came backstage, and I just, I said, I really, think you were brave, and you really did great. Your jokes were good.
Did he go to hug you? Did he hug you?
Well, that. Of course he did that, but that was on the stage.
I see. But when you were backstage, did he shake your hand or hug you?
No, but I patted him on the lapel there, and I said, onward and upward, Tom. Let's roll. Let's go.
There was a report that backstage he tried to steal your purse. Is that true?
No, I didn't have a purse.
You did not have a purse?
No.
You do not have
to bring it.
After he was done and he came off the stage, I was like, oh, no, that was an awkward moment. And I just kind of held my hand up so he could kiss my my hand like the Pope or something.
Right.
But he went for the full hug, and I was like, oh, God. That one I was a little scared of. But, it was okay. There wasn't no dagger in his hand for my back or anything.
So when we watch the Roast of Roseanne Sunday night at 10 o'clock on Comedy Central, we're going to see Tom hugging you.
You know what you're going to see, though? You're going to fucking see so many funny comics, like with great jokes. And, Gilbert, he just put me away. Gilbert made me almost fall on the floor and pee my pants.
Yeah,
Gilbert is a great roaster.
Yeah,
he's a great comic.
Yeah.
He called you Rosella.
Everybody was funny.
He called you Rosella.
Rosella was the funniest damn thing I've ever heard in my life. I couldn't get my breath.
Did you wait?
You know who was really funny was that new girl, Amy Schumer.
Amy is really funny.
She's terrific. In fact, she said of you, I was surprised you were running for president. I just thought a lot of people couldn't picture you like running.
There was a lot of those kind of jokes. But, those are funny. I didn't at any time feel that, it had gone below into the toilet level like I've seen it do before,
Is it true that Sharon Stone was booked for the roast and then canceled?
Well, you know what? She's doing a movie, and they moved their movie schedule, so it wasn't, she couldn't get out of the movie, so, she apologized and all that stuff.
You believe she's actually doing a movie?
Well, that's what we were told.
I see. So there was
that's what I was telling you, Howard. There are a lot, and it's often very...
She's loonier and shit. I would have had a great retort for her.
Yeah.
But Carrie Fisher was on there, and boy, was she funny.
Yeah, everyone seemed to do a good job. Everyone, from what I'm hearing about it and reading about it, it seems like it's going to be a good night.
But oftentimes, a lot of attractive women will back out.
Yeah. Well, why do attractive women back out? Because they think
they're afraid. They can't take it.
They can't take it. Yeah,
taking the retort is like the hardest thing on earth.
You're absolutely right, because Sharon Stone, who is known for her great beauty, people are going to take shots at her saying your beauty is faded, and they really don't have a sense of humor about it.
Well, Sharon can deliver a punchline, believe it or not, and I think she was very excited to be there. She was, but they just moved the schedule and she couldn't. So
is she a good friend of yours?
She's a good friend-ish.
Is it true that you and John Goodman have been signed to do another sitcom together?
Well, no. We did that pilot and they didn't like it.
Okay.
But, I suppose we could do that again anytime we wanted to, but, you have to question all that stuff. Plus, we're so damn old, but I'll tell you, the one we did, the one pilot, the week we worked together, it was just a blast. It's just a wonderful, wonderful, fun, great time.
When you talk about that menopause has killed your sex drive, are you joking, or are you saying that, like, you've completely dried up and you don't have sex with your man anymore?
Well, I'll do it once in a while, but I do try to get out of it.
You do? Because why? Because it's just, in other words, you look at a guy now and it's like, oh, why bother?
When you get old, you'll find out. I guess they got Viagra for old men, which that should be illegal. But,
right.
Your body
it's not
changes,
fair.
yeah, and, you're just kind of, Christ, you're too damn tired.
You dry up, right? I mean, in other words, it's hard to lubricate.
Jesus, Howard.
Come on, Roseanne. Let people know.
Well, yes, that is part of it, but that's just a symptom of it. The real problem is that, it's just, your get up and go just gets up and goes.
Well, maybe you should just save yourself for sex. Stop doing all that other stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
I know that's kind of what my boyfriend suggests.
Does your boyfriend say to you, look, Roseanne, I have needs, and, try to do something. Do something for me. I mean, to just sort of dry up on him and not go anywhere with it. I mean, that is unfair to him, isn't it?
Well, I try to be a good girlfriend.
Right.
Christ, it's hard, I don't know. I'd rather have pie and
right.
just like sleep and try to fix the goddamn world.
If Willie Nelson isn't your running mate, who is?
My running mate is Cindy Sheehan.
And what is she, an actress?
Cindy Sheehan, hon. Remember the woman who she lost her son Casey in Iraq, and she occupied George Bush down there in Crawford, Texas.
The Iraq War protester.
Yes.
Yeah, so she's your running mate. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so listen, I've got the whole story now. Let's review.
Okay.
We first want to say she showed America that she can get past things and reunited with Tom Arnold for television's sake. She did it. She sat like Jesus. She sacrificed herself for you, so you should want.
Actually, he had some great jokes, and he was real funny.
Yeah, well, that's. Did it bother you when he started to have real success? When he was in True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was having a major career. Did it irk you in some way? Like, did you become, I don't want to say jealous, but just like, oh, I don't want to see him do well?
Not at all. No, I'm the one who, I'm the one who, took all the shots so that he did get famous. And, he just kind of turned into a monster at that point.
He did?
So, but I didn't begrudge the work I personally had done to get him to
How did he turn into a monster at that point?
Huh?
How did he turn into a monster at that point? Was he difficult to work with?
Oh, I don't know what he was like to work with, but he was impossible to be married to or live with.
Wow. And who has more money now? I would still think you have more money than Tom, but I don't know.
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know how much. He's done 50 movies. I don't know.
Do you think he might have more money than you?
Probably. That's the way shit goes, isn't it?
Well, you have to think, though, he had a couple of other marriages where he didn't sign prenups, remember?
Oh,
Is
that's
that right?
Yeah. He might be cleaned out, too.
Well, I don't know. I do wish him well. He told my boyfriend on the show, he said, whatever you do, stay with her. She's a horrible wife, but she makes an even worse ex-wife.
Right. Do you really wish him well? Seriously, if I gave you the power now to wish him well or to wish him ill, what would you wish him?
Of course, I wish everyone well.
You do?
Of course. Otherwise, I'd have all that hate inside me, and I'd be a miserable old bitch, and I'm not.
Right. Did you always know that your TV daughter was gay? Was that a shock to you?
Who, Sarah?
Sarah, yeah. I know Sarah now. I've been on her show.
Yes, I always knew she was gay because she liked Jodie Foster movies.
That's the sign, right? That's how you know.
I used to make fun of her. I'm like, come on. Jodie Foster, especially after Jodie Foster did that one movie where she played the Grand Same Here, that one where she couldn't even talk.
Nell.
Right, Nell, right.
Anybody who liked that movie, they were definitely they were undecided on their sexuality and their humanity.
Why was no one from your former huge hit sitcom on the roast? Do they not like you? Do they not get along with you? Why was Sarah not there? Why? I mean, Tom, of course, was a writer there, but aside from Tom, Sandra Bernhard. I'm trying to think who else was on the show. Tom Goodman. Where the hell was he?
John Goodman.
John Goodman, not Tom.
They were all asked, and people had other commitments, or they're, what it is, Howard. You know this, I think.
Okay.
Everybody's got a publicist.
Mm-hmm.
And, they're really Satan's hordes.
Yes.
They really do all, they're all like, it's all just image. And
do you have a publicist?
Yeah, but he's not like they are.
Well,
and everybody's like, you can't do that because you won't look this and that. I mean, obviously, my publicist doesn't give a shit what I do.
Right.
But, I think they stop them and they say, oh, you're going to get up there and you're going to get called names. People, again, Howard, you got to have a thick skin and, a good sense of humor about yourself to take the retort. And a lot of people in Hollywood, as you know, Howard, they don't have a sense of humor about themselves, and they're like overly sensitive,
right,
big whining fucking babies.
Right. No, you make a good point. I mean, it's a hard thing to take. So, okay.
You don't want to put yourself out there to just be knocked when you're trying real hard to get a job, and that's the other part of it, too. And why I asked Comedy Central, could we not, have people walking away feeling slimed?
Right.
So, they did a good job, and they let me bring in some new writers, and they got some new writers, and I noticed a few of them were women, and that's a big step up there for Comedy Central, and I was glad they did it, and I think they should continue looking at hiring more women writers.
Roseanne, should Romney have to release his tax returns?
Not only should he have to do that, yes, absolutely. He should give back every dime he stole from the American people. There'd be no problem in this country whatsoever. Everybody be living great.
And will you release your tax returns? I
No.
know there's a big call for no.
Hell no.
You won't do it.
Well, I mean, if I have to, I will. But I'm not stealing any federal money. And Romney, there's questions of that. But certainly, I've never even been within 5 feet of where they got all the money hidden over there in Washington.
You feel Romney stole from the American people?
I think he stole from God and the world. I think the guy's like the biggest friggin' thief that ever lived, and he's self-righteous about it on top of it.
Listen, Roseanne, you've said it all. You've said it all.
Mm-hmm. Not all.
You close to. All right, that's true. You got a little shy when it came to menopause and drying up.
Well, because I have grandsons, Howard.
Listen, they need to know about this. One day they're going to get old.
They're only 2 or 3.
They need to know about drying up.
When they were 5, my one grandson said to my boyfriend, he goes, why do you want to have sex with an old lady like my granny?
Yeah, that's nice. Way to throw you under the bus. Listen, it's great talking to you. Come see us when you're in New York.
Yeah, I really appreciate both of you. You're doing great, and thanks for having me.
All right, I love having
Good
you
to
on.
talk to
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
All right, bye, Roseanne. That's Roseanne. I don't know if she's saying Roseanne Barr anymore. Maybe she went back to it. For a while, she wasn't Roseanne Barr.
Well, was she just a one-name person, Roseanne?
She went to. Remember when you went to Ophelia? That's where she got the idea. Yeah, go ahead.
Roseanne Barr.
Roseanne Barr. Yeah, she's
I thought
back.
she was Roseanne Barr.
All right, listen. For a while, it wasn't.
The TV show was Roseanne.
Yeah, I was thinking there was a time when Robin tried to change her name to Roseanne Quivers. Didn't fly.
This is the best of the wrap-up show. A recap and behind-the-scenes look with John High and Gary Dell'Abate. The best of the wrap-up show begins now.
I'm Gary Dell'Abate, Baba Booey, and on Monday's wrap-up show, we talked about Warren Sapp, NFL legend. He came in here, he talked about a variety of things. He talked about what it's like to have sex and how he can't hold out that long. But then we talked about some football stuff, too. Had a great moment where we talked about what it's like to sack the quarterback. Anyway, here's what happened on the wrap-up show.
I want to start off with Warren Sapp. Gary, before he came in, I was talking about it's always great when Howard interviews a football player, a professional sports player, because he doesn't really follow it, yet you end up hearing more and learning more about the athlete than you ever knew before.
The thing that makes Howard great with athletes is because he doesn't know a lot about sports, there's no hero worship. So it's not, oh my God, Warren Sapp here. So Howard's like, oh, there's a football player here that people say is pretty good, and he seems very interesting. So there's none of that like, oh my God, I saw you when you were in Miami, I saw you at the Super Bowl. So all that shit goes out the window. So all the interviews you've heard Warren Sapp do, this one's already different.
Do you think Warren is an angry guy?
I thought that the interview was contentious in a funny way.
What do you mean?
I mean that there were times where Warren seemed irritated by Howard, but because Howard didn't seem to have his facts right. And I mean, I never thought it was going to, come to anything, but he was like he was sort of mixing it up with Howard, not taking any shit from him.
Yeah, and I thought that made him an interesting guest.
Absolutely.
But do you remember that draft when he was just plummeting in the NFL and eventually got picked by Tampa?
Vaguely. Who was the number one pick in that draft?
Oh, God, I don't know. It was 95? I don't remember. Will, you should probably come down with that. But I do know. I know that's the year the Jets took Kyle Brady before Warren Sapp.
Yes, of course. But I do have a major.
John Carter. That's who it was.
I have a major connection with Warren. We were talking about today. He and I did Hollywood Squares together, and we spent the whole day together. And at the time, this had to be like 99, 2000 or something like that. And he gave me his cell phone number. He said, "I really want to do Howard Stern show." After we went to break, he got up and he said, "There's only two people I've ever wanted to be on this show. You and Letterman." And now I've done that. So he had given me his number, and I called him a bunch of times trying to get him on the show. It just never worked out.
I'm glad he came on today. Scott in Mississippi, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, John, how's it going?
Good, Scott. What's on your mind?
It's I'm glad Gary brought up the bounty scandal with the New Orleans Saints with him because, for a guy that says that he had a conspiracy theory on his draft pick, he sure does, and how people make up evidence. He sure didn't have a whole lot of opinion on that whenever he brought it up.
Well, I brought it up, and he said that he had a source that told him that Jeremy Shockey was a whistleblower. That was it. What's the conspiracy theory?
Well, the fact that the NFL hadn't brought out any evidence against the Saints, except for like 200 pages that they claimed to have 5,000, and he just didn't have a whole lot of opinion on the bounty scandal in general. Just the fact that he had
we didn't ask him whether we thought it was wrong or right. He basically said, I think it's a bunch of bullshit. I don't need $1,000 isn't going to make me hit a guy any harder.
Which I thought was interesting. Like that is why are people offended by it? Was it the hit to injure somebody?
Yeah, right. In other words, you're giving somebody money if you can knock somebody out of a game. And even though football is an incredibly violent game, and even though people get hurt all the time, to say that you're going out there, I mean, I guess you could say, I'm going out there and I'm going to, play my best, but you can't say I'm going to go out there and,
so the bounty wasn't just for a tackle, allegedly. It was for an actual injury?
It could be for a variety. If you knock a guy out.
If you knock somebody out of the game, you get X amount of dollars.
If a guy limps off the field, whatever it is, that sort of thing.
But, yeah, Warren made it very clear. He was like, look, the money's nothing at that point because they're all doing very well in the NFL. And I thought with Shockey, he said he had a source and that was it and kind of wanted to move off of that.
I will wonder, because Warren works for the NFL, right?
Right. Well,
he works for NFL Network now.
He was on NFL Network and he's on a show on Showtime called Inside the NFL, which I believe the NFL controls pretty well too, right?
He's not on Inside the NFL anymore.
But I'm saying, when I brought it up, he said, I'm on the NFL Network. He goes, he said it when he was on the NFL Network, but he got thrown off the show he didn't say it on.
Right.
That's the show he got tossed off of. But I thought I thought there was a lot of very interesting insight into football today. He kept bringing up the point, like, I play for pleasure on Sunday. It's the other 6 days they pay me. He goes, I go out there, that's pleasure. And his description of what it's like to beat a tackle and get to the quarterback and put him down, I thought was amazing.
Did you think he was going to be a bigger guy? I guess you had met him before, though.
And I think when I met him, he was a bigger guy.
Yeah. Well, he said he came out of high school.
Down.
He was 225 in high school, and he was over 300 when he was playing pro.
Right.
I mean, but he said he's smaller, but he was fast, and that's really why he was such an exceptional.
Well, and he made the joke, which I don't think Howard got. He goes, I think I'm gonna. He goes, I feel like I'm a big guy with a safety.
Safety, yeah.
Did you guys understand what he said? What he was saying that would have been a motivation for making up drug reports about him?
No, I don't think nobody understood what he had a conspiracy theory.
He said there was 2 new teams.
He said Jacksonville and Carolina were the expansion teams he was talking about.
Right.
And he said, but he never explained what the reason would be. Like
why would help someone if he wasn't.
Well, he said that there had to be an explanation why one of those teams didn't take him.
Right.
But I don't know who would be behind that. So does it mean that neither one of those teams wanted him, so they colluded to have him lower so it didn't look bad for them?
I couldn't figure it out. I mean, Jacksonville took Baselli and Carolina took Kerry Collins. So who knows? The bottom line is Tampa had a great draft, and they ended up winning the Super Bowl a few years later. Bobby in Jersey, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, now. How are you guys?
Hey, Bobby.
This is like a recurring theme that I listen, avid listener. Howard always talks about kind of prematurely going, he can't hold his own sexually. And today Warren said the same thing. It baffles my mind that men that have been having sex for so long, still can't hold off. I don't know. It's weird to me that someone, even like Warren, who's had so many people in his life, still will admit to something like premature ejaculation. It's just very odd. I wanted to know what you guys thought about that.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I fall more into their category, and I do feel really immature about it. But then I guess there's a part of me that says I still get excited, and that's a good thing.
Right.
It's better than being not being able to, I would be much more embarrassed not to be able to get an erection.
I think when Dax and Bradley were in there, they talked about that too. Do you remember, Benji, who said that? Anybody who says they're going an hour, it's just not true.
Or I think Dax was saying that it's not like women, guys who don't understand women, that women don't want it that long.
I've heard women say, not porn women, but women that I know say, you don't want a guy fucking you for an hour. That's just ridiculous. And it's like, get on with it already.
But every time I think, okay, this is the time. This is the time I'm gonna make it last. I'm gonna and then.
Do you ever have one of those where you're just doing so well, and then as soon as you tell yourself you're doing well, that's the end of
it? Jeff in Pittsburgh, you're on the wrap-up show.
That's what I'm saying. That was a great interview. It was one of those interviews where you felt like 3 guys sitting around a kitchen table with a woman in the background being robbed, and it just turned out to be a great interview, man.
Yeah, it was really good. And by the way, you really need to see it on Howard TV because Will came over and he'll attest to this. Some of the faces that Warren was making, there was one time where Howard was talking about something and he had this complete look of shock, and then he would have a look of anger. It was just he was making really funny faces.
Hey, it's Richie Wilson. On Tuesday's wrap-up show, there was a big discussion on who was omitted from my wedding invite list. A couple of guys from the radio side were a little pissed off. Lisa G wouldn't come down. And I think it all worked out well in the end because I defended myself and I explained why I cut those people off the list. So, check it out.
We're going to get into Richie Wilson's wedding list. Some people left off. Some people only actually 4 or 5 left off, mostly everybody included. I think on this show, the only way, not the only way, but almost the only way you find out how someone really feels about you is when these situations occur.
Well, I got a question for Richie. Did you see this bit coming?
Oh, yeah. You knew it was inevitable.
Right.
And when you're in it, Richie, I mean, you said yourself, you're black and white. This is how you stand. If someone doesn't like you, you want to know. And I'm sure you feel the same way. If you don't like somebody, you're going to let them know.
They know.
So did any of this come as a surprise to anybody today?
Richie does let people know,
yes,
right?
He does.
Were there a lot of people who
I mean, with everything, if I like a restaurant, if I like a movie, if I like this, it's
but it's different
yes
with people.
No, but it's yes and no. I'm not going to.
People are at restaurants,
but I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass or up anybody's ass and be smiling to their face and then not like them or talk shit behind their back.
I think that the one thing I would disagree with you about today is when you said it's black and white. It really isn't black and white. In other words, there's people that I like here, and there's people that I like more than others here. And the people that I don't like as much as others doesn't mean I don't like them. It just means I haven't gotten to know them as well. And so there's a lot. It's not black and white. I don't either love someone or hate someone. There's a middle. There is a middle ground.
There is. Okay, then there's like, indifferent, and don't like.
Well, no, there's like a little bit more. It's not like, indifferent, and hate.
But
I mean, it is to you,
okay,
maybe.
like Steve Brandano. I like Steve. I am very fond of Steve. But I think we have maybe 4 words a year to each other.
But okay,
you know what I mean?
But
So, and I like Steve.
But you got to the point where there were 5 people.
Actually, no, there's more. There's more. Ralph's not on the list.
Is Tracy?
Millman, yes. Because Rachel and Tracy hang out a lot off the air with Richard Christie's wife, and all those girls hang out.
I totally understand me being off the list. Totally get that. I was surprised at Will and Steve because it just seems a little glaring. But I think that having done this, it's always glaring when you leave somebody off.
Yeah, Will, you seem surprised in the sense that not that you were left off, but like Jason and other people were included.
Yeah, no, I did not expect to be invited to the wedding. But then when I saw that everybody else was invited, I go, okay, this is a message that he doesn't like you.
No, I like Will. There has to
just
be
not enough to invite him.
Cutoff line at some point. Like, okay, why wasn't I invited to your wedding?
I invited probably 3 guys from Howard TV. I didn't invite anybody from our news department.
That's all he invited from your office. 3
What
guys.
do you mean?
He invited John, Jason,
Scott the engineer,
Scott, JD,
all the on-air people.
Tracy. Basically, all the people that his wife had a relationship. Did you invite anyone from the office that you wanted there?
Initially, the whole horseshoe, I was going to say no as a whole to.
What's a horseshoe?
whole
The bullpen?
area. Yeah, no as a whole to.
Right.
And Rachel was like, listen, I want John there. I've had a relationship with John. John's a great guy. I want him there. And then I said, okay, anybody else? And she said, Jason. I emailed Jason a lot. Every time I see him, we have a great time together. I want Jason there. And I said, great.
Jason, good friends.
Yeah, I was sort of surprised by that too.
Every time she's up here, they
would
get
like
their little,
him?
they get like a little chatter group going.
Howard,
the 2 of them.
Rachel Fine, Richie Wilson. Yeah, no, I like her. She helps me out with the website. We talk dipping sauces all the time. She actually, I went to go see her last year sing in the city, and actually I think that made Richie and I better friends because then we found out we both watched the same TV shows, and you know.
And
so what's your relationship with Benji? Because Benji's always the wild card.
See, it's interesting. This is going to be fun. Benji got an invite without a +1. Benji got a solo invite.
Because I date Rachel.
No, Benji, is that insulting to you in any way?
Well, yeah, because I have a girlfriend, and that's a serious girlfriend.
And I'll be honest about that.
You don't want? Is it specifically
I'll tell
you don't
exactly
want her
why.
there?
We had 3 interactions with Elisa. 2 of them were extremely unpleasant.
Well,
do you know about that?
Well, when I didn't get a +1,
and
I
we also don't
assumed
want
it
the
was a
Benji.
slight-
We don't want the Benji and Elisa show.
But Benji, did you know that there were 2 unpleasant interactions with your girlfriend and Rachel and Richie?
I don't know. If you want to, I don't know.
The first one was the night you brought her to Rick's to introduce her to a bunch of people, and she was very cold and rude to everybody there that night. And the second one was the Christmas party where she was just extremely rude to everybody.
Well, she was weird. I don't know that she was rude. She was odd.
No, but like when people said hello, it was hi and gave out like the. You know, like the bent hand.
Yeah, but she was. I look at her. She was under the hypnotic shtick coma of Benji.
She was in shtick coma.
Well, I wasn't gonna make a big deal, but when I didn't get a +1, I wasn't gonna go because I took that as a intentional.
And we figured that you were not gonna come.
That's the best invite ever. So invite him a bit, he won't come.
So it was intentional.
No, but we figured we didn't want Elisa there. But we figured if we did that, Benji wasn't going to come. But we like Benji, and we wanted to invite Benji. But we knew.
But I think I don't know. You're being very insulting to my girlfriend, who is a wonderful person. And if you don't like her, that's fine.
I'm just going by the interactions I've had. They've been unpleasant.
But you realize it's hard to split a couple up. In other words,
I know.
You would be insulted if you were invited. Someone said they didn't want Rachel.
If Benji got invited and invited myself and not Rachel, I wouldn't go either.
All right, I do want to talk about one other thing because the thing that I found most interesting this morning, like I said, I did not expect to be invited. When he said why Will wasn't invited, he had, I thought, a fairly reasonable explanation. Same for Steve. But Lisa G, flat out, you just don't like Lisa G.
No, she's a dud. Come on, you want somebody that was going to be fun and we listen in the past, especially in the past few months, with the way she's been on the show. with her whole, she wants to be paid for everything. She just let.
But are you basing this on the show or a personal relationship?
Both. She leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Right, so you don't like her.
Yeah, pretty much, and she and she knows that. It's.
Does she? I got the impression when I saw her today that she might have learned it for the first time.
Oh no, she knows.
This came as a surprise to Lisa?
I think so. I went back to the office because I dropped off a piece of paper, and I just I said, "Were you surprised?" She's like, "A little."
Tim Sabian, are you offended that you're one of the few who are not invited to the Wilson Fine affair?
Well, Richie and I have known each other for a while, and I didn't really expect to be invited. I love Richie. I have no problems with him. I think we get along great, and we're just not. We don't hang out afterwards. If we hang out, it's comfortable. But we just don't spend a lot of time.
I will tell you this, Richie.
I would invite Tim. If I spend more time with Tim, he'd be on there in a second.
By the way, I honestly
he's out of control.
think a lot of Richie's stuff. I think there's a lot of jealousy against my girlfriend. I think Rachel is threatened by my girlfriend and jealous.
Not at
all.
And
I like Rachel
and
a lot.
Not at all threatened or
Don't worry
jealous.
about it, Richie.
Tim won't go anyway.
Two of the encounters I found jealousy, and one I found pleasant.
No, we're doing the Benji shtick.
Steve,
I'm not going to get into that.
No, I'm telling
Steve,
you, girls are very jealous of my girlfriend because she's very hot, and it makes a lot of girls very jealous.
Steve, very hot. I know you were wondering, why are you on this list?
I'll say this with people in this room, and I don't know how that goes, but I was not expecting to get invited to Richie's wedding, and what he said on the air is what I would expect. The problem is I know there's been contention with Gary in the past. Even Will, and there's been friction with Will and Richie, and I know that he doesn't like Lisa G. So with that math, that's what worries me, because then I'm either
you're the exception. You're okay,
but then by that,
I understand your point. I understand your point.
Okay, all right. Because everybody else, like he said, if Lieberman's going and Scott and JD and blah blah blah. And I know
Lieberman's only been here for 9 months.
Yeah, so then I was just the guy that got left off, which it wouldn't be the first time. So
but I also interact with Lieberman a lot more, and Rob Martin I work with all the time, and I hang out.
You work
with
with
Rob.
everyone here all the
but
time.
I hang out with Rob. I hang out with Rob. Rob and I are friends.
Look, when you say you hang out, where do you guys hang out? What would you do?
Drinking. We go out to bars. I set him up on a date with a friend of mine.
Wait, hold on, guys. Will, what do you want to say?
No, I was just going to say, you can be honest. If it's because you don't like me, I know you said you don't like Gary, then that's fine. But I just wish you would say that rather than...
Right, you say you would tell somebody, so I want you to tell them.
Will. I like you. I don't know what the problem is. I like you.
Well, we also heard the comment, too, that, it was very black and white.
Right,
and that's what worries me, too. How could that be?
If I like you, I don't like you. And I like you, Will. I don't. Right. I mean, I do. I like you a lot. and I mean, there was that one time where you may have thought I was being cold, and you called me out on it, and it really made me say, "Oh shit, maybe I was being a little off to Will," and I felt bad about it. All right, and I made a conscious effort not to, because I like you.
Did because you like Steve? Do people in different groups, if Steve's rank of if someone in the TV room, would they have to have the same? If they had the same rank of
TV guy's not invited to.
No.
What I'm saying is,
who are the Howard TV guys?
Is the threshold of for Steve the same as someone in the Howard TV room, or do you have different?
But I also spend a lot more time with the Howard TV guys than I do with Steve.
So it is safe to say that you like me more than some of the guys that are invited that work for Howard TV.
No, Howard TV. A lot of Howard TV guys aren't invited. The only Howard TV guys that are coming, like the guys I've been around with.
Is Phelan coming?
Oh, yeah. I've known Phelan for 15 years.
So Phelan, a Ganji.
Exactly.
I think what Steve is saying is there anyone from the Howard TV room that you invited because you worked alongside them for so long that maybe you actually like Steve better?
No, there's nobody that got an invite just because I worked with them for a long time.
You don't like me then. That's
I like Steve. No, everybody from Howard TV that I invited are people that I either have worked with for years or I've hung out with outside of work for a lot of...
I will give you one piece of small advice if you want to hear it. Just having been down this road myself. Not inviting somebody as high a caliber as Tim, but inviting their right arm, which I'm assuming McClure's invited, right?
Because Liza and Rachel are very good friends.
Big mistake. For whatever reason, I'm not. Sometimes there were people invited to my wedding that had to be invited. It's just the way life works.
But it's our wedding.
I got it with my wedding too. Wedding. No, I got it, and I'm just saying.
We should be able to invite who we want.
You will, and you may pay the price for it down the road.
Okay.
One last question: how did Tabitha Stevens make the cut?
Exactly.
Because Tabitha
That's insulting.
and I have been friends for years. We email, we text. We're always in contact with each other.
Isn't it fun making lists, Richie?
I know.
Oh yeah.
And I sympathize on that level.
You went through this.
It's obnoxious, but and then the best part is. a year from now, the list could be completely different.
That's right.
Exactly. And you know what? In 10 years, we'll probably look at those pictures and go, who the fuck is that person?
I just celebrated my 20th anniversary, and I turned around to Mary and I go, what the fuck was her name? And Mary's, I couldn't remember. And I was like, what was that guy's name? Remember, we were such good friends with him and his girlfriend, and we couldn't remember their names.
Why isn't Steve Brandano in any of these photos?
20 years ago, you're going to look back at those photos and go, wow, remember when Jason was skinny? That's going to be scary. That's going to be scary. Hey, another tip. Tim writes a mean check. So, if there is an open spot.
But, like, there must have been people you invited that you knew you had to invite when it comes to, like, family. You had to invite some. You're telling me.
Well, my family is very small. You can fit me
but
in.
I'm saying
So
there's
that's
cousins and aunts and uncles that you know this, right? You have to invite them, and you invite them, and you're sitting there going, I can't believe I have to have my fucking cousins from wherever when there's a friend at work I'd rather have. But that's just the way it goes.
I had a section of the room devoted to people I didn't want at my wedding. It was like 3 tables in the back left corner. If you were sitting there, that's like the Scott Salem section of the. Not at my wedding, the Scott Salem section, but general. Right. We call the Scott Salem section the place where the duds section.
Right, I know what you're saying.
I was at that table at Howard's wedding, right next to Scott Salem.
Oh, I know you guys were bitter about that. Who was at the table? Was you and Jason at Scott Salem?
No, not me. I had prime real estate.
Jason had a different table.
So who were you at the table? You and Scott Salem, Haji,
Phelan,
the kid with one leg.
I don't even know if I want to get into the names who are at the table, but
Will
you can definitely tell you're on the potpourri table.
Will was in a different restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. Well then,
Ken, you're on the wrap-up show.
As far as Lisa's concerned, Richie, you couldn't have made a clearer statement. I mean, you said, Gary and I have had some run-ins. You said, Steve and I don't hang out. You said Will didn't invite me to his wedding, but you just flat out said, would you invite her?
When you're making a list, again, as somebody else speaking from experience, like what happens is, for me anyway, you go over and then you start looking for what are quote unquote the easier cuts. And, a guy like, Lisa G, where, hey, if you had an endless budget and an endless party, sure, she's on the list, but okay, you got to start making cuts.
I don't think she would be on Richie's list.
Well,
based
maybe
on
not.
What he said.
Yeah, like in other words, if the room were 250, Lisa and I still ain't coming, correct?
You would.
Wow.
See?
But I feel honored and bad for Lisa.
Here's the thing.
We should try and get Lisa.
The place holds 150. We invited 200.
Right.
And we're hoping that a lot of people cancel, and they're actually coming.
Right.
So we could be seriously fucked.
Oh, we used to. My running joke was when you get the card back from somebody that's not coming, it's like ka-ching. It's like you're making money.
We purposely invited people. Rachel has relatives in Australia and England, so they're the ones that we knew weren't going to come, so we had to invite them.
Are they coming?
Anyway, and now they're coming. We're like, oh, shit.
Quick question, like in the tournament, the basketball college tournament, it's last 4 in, last 4 out. So we're on that last 4 out list. So
maybe
I'm just trying to figure out where that line was. Who like, were you putting Jason and I together and saying, all right, one of these guys can't make it? Here's the upside and downside on both of them?
I wasn't doing that. I was just like, okay, is there anybody that we didn't invite? And Rachel was like, I like John and Jason a lot. And I was like, well, then it is everybody in that whole general bullpen area.
She said, fuck them.
And yeah, she said, fuck those guys. I hate them.
I mean, I was clearly, and I'm thrilled to be going. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it. You're my boy.
Regret that
but, I got an email from Richie about 2 weeks ago saying, hey, man, what's your address? And I figured that it was for the wedding. So that just proves, I wasn't on the early draft of the wedding list. So that just proves I came in later. And by the way, I did crunch the numbers. Richie would have to get married in Giant Stadium for Lisa G to be invited to the wedding.
What did you guys think of Fred's reaction today when the save the date came up?
I understood what Howard was saying. And again, I think Fred reacted a little too quickly. If you get a save the date card, I would say that that's a really good shot that you're invited. So when he said, I don't know if I'm invited, he could have even said, I think Fred, if he would have said, I got to save the date card. And Howard goes, oh, and that would have been it. But he goes, well, I'm not sure if I'm invited. And Howard goes, well, you either got an invitation or you didn't. It's a miscommunication, and Howard loves to exploit that.
I have a feeling that Fred didn't know if the invitation came.
Well, it may not have.
Actually,
but it might have, and he might have not even known that Allison might have got it and never even mentioned it to him yet.
Before Richie even speaks, here's another thing, John. I don't know if you remember when you get married. Did you send your invitations out in waves?
I'm trying to remember.
Like first wave, you wait a week, you see what comes back. Second wave, I think we had a first wave and a second wave. Is my small recollection of that.
I think we sent them all out in one shot, like family and friends. But we had, like Richie was saying, we knew, or at least we thought, some people weren't going to come.
Right, I think we waited to make sure some people weren't going to come to send out the second wave. Is my vague recollection. You sent yours all out at once?
Well, a week apart. Not.
But why a week apart?
Just that we had to get those stinky heart stamps we had to buy more of and all that.
But it had nothing to do with
nothing like aid.
There was no hierarchy.
No. They all just. Fred by the time he got to save the date and the invite was mailed, he moved. And that's what happened.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah, within like a 3-month time span.
John and Glenhead, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hello?
Hey, John.
Hey, how are you? Hey, Gary, it's John from the Vineyard.
Hey, John, what's up?
How are you? 2 quick points. Number one, I've been in the Mr. Munt's company many a times, Ronnie. I'm tired of people picking on him. He's such a gentleman and such a great guy. That's the one thing I want to pick on. And then the second thing is, Richie, how classless of a move to not invite Mrs. Jordana to the wedding and put poor Benji in this situation. And those of you that are friends with Mr. Wilson, you should really think about his character and what type of person he is, because I wouldn't want to be friends with a guy like that.
Wow. That's why you're not my friend.
No, I know, but it's...
John happens to be a nice guy, but I don't know why he's picking on you, man.
I don't care.
He doesn't like you.
That's fine.
I like you, John.
It probably would have been better to either all in on Benji or not at all.
You're right. You're 100% right. In hindsight, you're 100% right on that.
See, Richie and I agree on some stuff.
Yeah, we have moments.
Are you hurt?
He's awful quiet. He must be hurt.
No, well, it's kind of. I don't like when people take shots at my girlfriend. I think, like I said, I think it's out of jealousy. She's extreme. She's much hotter than the average girl here, and she's much more talented. And I think there's a lot of jealousy and a lot of fear of that.
There isn't, Benji, I'll tell you right now to your face, there isn't jealousy. When the night...
I'm jealous of her.
The night that we first met her at Rick's, Ronnie was there. Was a general consensus that she was not a nice person the night everybody met her.
Yeah, everybody thought she was a snot.
Exactly.
To be honest with you.
Because she doesn't lay all over you guys.
No.
Sorry, you know?
No, it wasn't lay all over. It was hello, I am, and it was an attitude.
And
it was an attitude
she's
back.
shy. She's
and
a
then
little
the next
shy.
night
She's
at the
a little
Christmas
quiet.
party, the next time at the Christmas party, which was discussed about on the air big time, that a lot of people had problems with her.
Well, that's. I mean, you guys. I think
And
you
if
guys
that's
expect
her way of
girls,
coming across,
You
maybe
guys
she was
expect
shy.
a certain type of girl.
No.
She's a little bit classier, a little bit brighter, a little bit more talented, and that's what happened.
Then who? Then like my wife, as a for instance?
Than me.
Oh,
okay. I understand.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do moving forward now? Are you going to invite anybody who's not invited?
Well,
Are
see,
you
to
gonna
me, that's even a more obnoxious slap in the face thing. It's more condescending to say, "Oh, Gary, here's your invite anyway."
Well, I mean, you could say
would you take that as like, what the fuck? I'm an afterthought or something like that.
Listen, again, I'm not expecting.
No, I'm saying,
but it could if you came to me and you said, you know what, I thought about this, and we've had our differences in the past, but I would like to try to put it behind us. So I'd like to invite you. That I would understand. But if you just said, here's an invitation, it just came in the mail, that'd be
do you
weird.
want to know, Gary, the honest truth? It was 50-50 with you up until like the last second.
Yeah, I thought that
it wasn't a hard no right off the bat, like fuck him. No,
well,
it was 50-50
up
up to
this
the last second.
when I knew the invites
It
were
really
going
was.
out. I thought it was if I was going to get invited at all, it was going to be Rachel's decision. Because I think,
she likes you
with
a
the
lot.
exception of pulling her chair away from her, I think we mostly get along
She
really
likes you a
well.
lot.
And I happen to like her a lot. And again, I don't want to insult you with this. I think that you have, since you guys got back together and got engaged and all that, I really think you've become a nicer person.
I've tried to be.
But I've
made a
actually
conscious
seen
effort.
that.
I've made a conscious effort.
And when
Thank
I said
you.
you've
Thank
changed,
you for noticing it.
But I said when you've changed in the
nuts.
last, no, but when I said you changed in the last 2 years, I really feel that. And by the way, just so you know, when Howard came back and said something on the air that day, and you said, "Oh, Gary must have clouded him at dinner," this is exactly how it went. Beth, the lovely, sweet Beth, who's the nicest person in the world, we're sitting at dinner, and she goes, "Oh my God!" She goes, "It's gonna be so much
Yeah,
fun."
I heard about this, yeah.
Did you get the invitation to Richie's wedding? And I go, "No." And she goes, oh. I said, "I won't be getting an invitation." And she said, "Why not?" I said, "I don't think Richie likes me." I said, "We don't get along that well." And that was it. I didn't say nobody likes Richie or anything like that.
Right when I came out the studio, people were like, "Whoa!"
She was surprised to find that out. Beth was really surprised. Beth thinks everybody likes everybody.
Yeah.
Which is a good way to live life.
Yeah, it's a great attitude if you can have that. Now,
I got that attitude.
Oh, yeah. On Wednesday's wrap-up show, all the talk was about Bobo's treasure trade, everything that Bobo went through to get his valuable items for his shrine, and how Sal shined. And speaking of Sal, he told us the genesis of Twat Raper and the difference between a legitimate rape parody song and an illegitimate rape parody song. Yes, you got to see that.
Today's show, the main attraction, I guess, was Bobo and Bobo's treasure trade, the jingle that we can't get out of our heads. And so much went into this game, and a lot of different games were being played during it, but Bobo had no idea what was happening. He knew to bring in his stuff, but he didn't know that he was going to possibly get anything. That all came as news to him. But he was here extra early and prepared, and I think he had a good time doing what he did. Doug Goodstein, do you agree?
I think he did. I just personally, I wish it was more destruction of his items, which we didn't really go there. You saw he wasn't going to part with that stuff, but the physical stuff was fantastic.
I'll tell you, the thing that surprised me the most was the Leroy Neiman poster. Like, I know it's his most treasured item, and he loves it. He wasn't going to give that up for anything. Like,
No,
I wonder
nothing.
if what Howard could have done. Maybe Howard could offer like a photo session or something like that.
No, I think if Howard said, "I'll give you everything."
Oh,
that
for the
probably would-
Neiman.
Yeah, that probably would have been about it.
John, can I ask a quick question?
Sure, Steve.
Who is Leroy Neiman? Should I know him?
Yeah.
What's the deal?
He's a famous artist.
He just
You
died.
should definitely know.
And
him.
what does he have to do with Howard?
He did a painting for Howard back in the day for the show that Howard hung up in his place, and then Howard in turn gave it to Bobo.
Oh, Howard gave it to Bobo?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
There's got to be other people that did.
Which is funny because turns out Bobo destroyed it himself. He just that's what
He broke it in the car.
Yeah,
the poor guy.
Yeah, the frame cracked.
Now, as things came up, the first thing offered to Bobo was Robin's bra, and I didn't think he was going to take it. The stunt was offered, and then a trivia question, and you could tell he wanted it, but I think he thought that was the whole game. Like, it would be the bra. And
Right.
once it clicked, and it takes a little while to click with Bobo, that there'd be more stuff coming, he jumped all over it. And that's where my pal over here came in to shine. Sal, congratulations. Will you not smoke that in here?
Sorry. Thank you.
Seriously, don't bring the electric cigarette in here.
I'm celebrating.
Celebrating what?
Painting my cock on Bobo's face.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That
thank
was
you.
one of the
For painting Bobo's face with my cock.
That was one of only a few things that you did.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with it.
And what did you enjoy the most? The painting, the pubic hair mustache with Richard?
I think everything was equal.
Really?
Yeah. These stunts are like my children. I don't discriminate. I like them all equally. So
yeah,
it worked out well.
I mean, everyone contributed a bunch of stunts, and I know you had a ton of ideas with Richard on what to do with this.
It all happened so quickly yesterday in the meeting. Everything shifted gears real quick, and Howard said, what if we can throw in some stunts as well? And boom, we just started putting them together immediately.
Yeah. The only thing that was a bummer about the segment is that it only was those 3 stunts. I mean, we could have gone for 5 hours. There were
really
so
could've.
many things, and there was no. I think Bubba would have gone for everything.
Like when Howard went
as long
for
as it
the-
was just the physical stunts. I mean, he went for it. I mean,
when
how
Howard
much-
said the tickle chair, I'm like, oh, God, it's over. We could have done so much more. We were going to play the bongos on Bobo's head with our penises, Richard and myself. We had a lot more ideas.
Did Richard enjoy shaving you for the mustache?
Absolutely. I told him, I said, you need to be my shaver. He goes, you got it, buddy. I love to be your shaver.
Did he work the ass hair in, or did you guys...
He got a few of them. Definitely got a few of them. And that was pretty good. I loved when he went for the ass hair.
Do you feel gay at all? Like, I mean, you did very homosexual type stuff. I mean, you put your penis in a guy's face. You had
No.
the guy shaving your balls.
No,
Do you
not at
feel
all.
proud of yourself?
Absolutely. Do you?
Yeah.
You're the
I'm
one
proud of you.
running this cockamamie
No, I think
organization.
it's great. I'm proud of you.
We've been down
Pat
this
on the
road
back.
so many times, Doug. Clearly, Sal and Richard believe what they're doing is for the humor and funny, but not sexual in any kind of way. Of
course.
Ask any gay person if they got an erection from me doing it. It might be gay. All I heard was laughter. So it could be. If people want to perceive it as gay, sure. I'm not gay. I'm not going home today looking to suck a penis. I don't get. It's not like I'm going to go to some gay porn.
So when you're painting Bobo's nose with your penis, there's not any sense of arousal just because you're touching somebody else with it, and
Probably just the opposite. Just the opposite. Here I am putting my penis on a man's nose. There's no way I'm going to get erect. If anything, it's kind of shriveling up a little bit. That's why I give it a good stretch on the pouch. And that kind of serves
You know what's
as,
strange? I got to go back and check tape, but Scott DePace swears that something fell out of your pouch when you first pulled down your pants.
Really?
Is that possible? Do you have any schmegma or something in there?
No, it's clean as a whistle right now.
You sure?
Yeah, you want to come and smell it?
No, thank you.
Sal,
Let John do that.
While you're here, I'll do that during the break. While you're here, I wanted to ask you about...
Well, John, I'm over the age of 11. You sure you want to go down there?
We didn't get a chance to talk about your song yesterday.
Oh, Twat
I
Raper.
wanted you to come down, and you didn't come down. But
congratulations.
Congratulations.
since Howard was repulsed by it.
Well, I think that's your goal sometimes.
It is. You know, there's nothing better than shocking the shock jock. I think there's no greater form of admiration.
Where did you come up with that? Did you hear the real song and suddenly it just fit, or what? Yeah, tell me the genesis of Twat Raper.
I heard it on my my iPhone, you know, when I was working out.
And how do you come up with the scenarios within the song? Is that just things that pop into your head? You know, what happened? You know, the different things you want to do to her, or
no? Look, like I said, you know, boobs, lube, round, brown, gets a little monotonous. A little after a while, gets a little redundant. So you need to shake it up. You need to raise the bar.
Were you surprised by how Howard reacted to the song?
No, I didn't know which way he would go. I was actually glad that he said he was disgusted by it and played it versus just deleting it and ignoring it altogether. To me, that's a great accomplishment when he plays something out of disgust. It's fun. It's great. By far, I'm not looking to rape her. I'm looking at it as a, what is that called? Like the brothers do it to each other. Term of endearment. That's a term of endearment.
What do you mean the brothers do it?
You know how you can't say the N word, but if you do say it, you say it as a term of endearment. That's the only time it's acceptable, which I understand. When I'm saying I want to rape Robin, it's not I really want to rape her. I don't want to commit an illegal act. I don't want to violate her. I want to consensually have mad, pussy-pounding, ass-bruising sex with her. And if you love somebody and you say that, it's not offensive. If you love somebody. If you don't, it's different. It was this is a legitimate twat rape song, not an illegitimate.
What would an illegitimate twat rape song be?
And just keep talking for the next 10 minutes. This is great.
An illegitimate twat rape song would be somebody who legitimately wants to rape somebody.
So you're saying that you don't want to rape Robin, of course.
Do you think I do?
No, but
of course not.
But I think you'd love to have sex with her.
Who wouldn't? I'd have sex with you at this point in my marriage.
What did you think of Robin's reaction to the song?
I was very impressed. I was hoping that she would be, slightly taken off, and she was, but I liked it. It made me laugh my ass off. I just thought it was at the end. It was funny, when you in a typical average job, you don't take out your penis and make a clown nose on somebody, but it's funny. It works perfect in this environment.
Would you play it for your wife?
Yeah. I mean, there's no need to, but yeah.
All right.
I don't think she thinks anything by it, but I love the song. I thought it was great.
Well done. You should be proud.
Did you like it?
I did. I enjoyed it.
What'd you think, Doug?
I actually missed it.
Any song you do makes me laugh. You know
thanks. I have to do a John Hines song then.
You have to do one of those. Teddy, let's take a break.
Kid Raper!
We'll come back.
Kid Raper!
We'll talk more about
He's going to throw you in his trunk.
Treasure trade. We'll move off of Twat Raper and back to the treasure trade. And Gary, I was saying before you came in that there were a lot of different games really going on during the segment.
Yes, and I was very, very nervous about this morning because this is one of those bits that, to take a phrase from Tim, had a lot of moving parts. And there were a lot of areas where it could have gone a lot of different ways. This also was the morning that Howard was coming off of America's Got Talent and had to work again. So I had a meeting yesterday with myself, Will, Doug, Richie Wilson. We all sat down and we went over everything a lot, and we tried to make it as easy as possible. I mean, Will did the bulk of the work, but I was so afraid. I was just praying for it to be 8:00 because I wanted this to be done and just go correctly.
Did you think Bobo would give up that Leroy Neiman poster for anything?
Yeah, he was very attached to that.
And the OJ mask he passed on basically, right? But he wanted your beekeeper mask.
He did.
Lost his eyebrows for that, right?
I was surprised that he passed. I know it's weird, but I was surprised that he passed on the tombstone because it's so one of a kind and it's so well known from the show. And off the record, we really wanted him to take it because we just wanted out of here. Right. It was almost like garbage. We're like, please win it so we can get rid of it.
But did you know, why? Did you hear why he said he did?
Yeah, he said he thought it was. He
freaked him out.
He thought it was freaky. But he's like a tribble attached to Howard. He feels what Howard feels.
But not only, I don't think it only freaked. It just didn't just freak him out as a death kind of thing. But like the thought of Howard dying,
right,
is so upsetting to him.
No, I get it, but Howard, if it freaks Howard out, it freaks Bobo out.
To me, the highlight of the whole bit, and I thought the bit was very strong, was when the guy called in at the end and criticized Bobo, as a fan, and Bobo immediately, commanded respect as he's got Sal's,
paint from Sal's penis on his
part of
face.
that.
and-
Did you notice that he said, "What are you? Go back to your 9-to-5 job." Like, what the fuck does that mean?
But he knew as opposed to his 12 to 8
like,
job.
what is that? We were like, what does that mean? Like, decipher that.
Well, I think it means that I think that Bobo thinks that he's special as a super fan of the show. But his job is as regular as it gets. He's got like a 9-to-5 top job. There's nothing wrong with having a 9-to-5
but
job.
maybe he meant like because then he's successful. Isn't he sort of retired because he made a lot of money?
He's
and saved up?
semi-retired. Yeah, he retired from the post office, and he does.
Oh, he's a
teach
postal
class.
worker?
He was, yeah.
Oh my God, that explains everything.
I thought he gave defensive
He went
driving.
postal many years ago.
No, wait, I thought he was a defensive driving
That's what he does
instructor.
now.
Oh, that's
No, I understand why he's semi-retired because he probably worked for the post office for 30 years.
Right.
He's probably on full pension, and so he can do a job where he doesn't have to work full time because the pension and a little part-time work makes it work.
Now, do you get sentimental about any of the stuff that he took? I know he got some carts, the tickle chair.
I got to tell you, the carts, they've been in my office for a while. I took them when we left K-Rock, and so I have 4 carts in my office. A song of DeBella, Baldy Baldy, John with Ringo Starr, the Tarantella music, and a cart of when Jackson played football, and the announcer announced it, Howard played it on the air. And I think I just grabbed those randomly on the last day, but I remember thinking, all right, John with Ringo, that's a big deal. That's iconic. Oh, and I have China singing her song.
Oh.
And so I had to give a couple up yesterday, and I was almost hoping he wouldn't take them because they actually mean something to me, although they're fucking useless.
And the tickle chair, I mean, that I was sad to see that go.
Well, again,
we look at that as it is sort of one of a kind, but it really is just like a Adirondack wood chair, and then you just could get straps.
That was we had a discussion because at one point we were thinking about putting the Robo Spanker up or the Wheel of Sex,
right?
And those are much more difficult to replace. So the tickle chair is easy to replace, but it is the one chair that all that stuff happened, and so it worked out well.
That has a lot of history. I mean, you go back, that probably has been featured on 50, 60
Who was the chick? Who was the chick that I kept pouring water on? Was that Mary
Nikki's?
Oh no.
Nikki Ziering, I think it was.
She kept saying she wanted a drink of water. I kept pouring it on her like a wet T-shirt.
There was a waitress who worked at the Penthouse Club that was the hottest one ever that you poured a ton of water on. And God, to this day, the hottest chick ever in the history of the show. I mean, I would take the wooden planks that her vagina rested on.
And twat rate them.
Yeah, I really would. I really would violate those things. She was
legitimately.
So hot. Yeah.
Stephen Philly, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, John, Gary, what's happening? I just want to. Do you think Bobo's stuff's going to be worth a lot? All his memorabilia put together is going to be worth a lot of money one day when Howard retires.
I think I can answer this. You know, the charity that I work for, we're always talking about ways to raise money, right? So one of the guys that works there, he said, you know, go into your attic. Like a lot of us worked in the record business. We have like old records or whatever. So I went into my closet. I have like the shirt from Howard's 40th birthday. I've got a jacket from Private Parts, a bunch of stuff. And I was going to put it up for auction for the charity. And I went online and looked, and it just didn't seem to be worth it. It didn't seem to that it would generate enough money for me to part with it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I would think some of the stuff, depending on how unique it is, I guess, and like I'm thinking the tickle chair. I know you said it's an Adirondack chair, but based on the history and fans of the show, I guess if they bid against each other, maybe then
I also think that Howard has to sort of legitimize it.
Yeah,
Howard
sign it.
And not only sign it, but Howard. If
what
Howard
happened
says,
today? What happened today gives the items huge legitimacy.
Right, that's right.
But I wonder, like, are you saying if in 25 years will Bobo be able to say, I've got the tickle chair from the Howard Stern show, and somebody's going to go, oh my God, that's worth a lot of money, and somebody's going to go, fucking, I don't care.
Probably both.
I think it's worth nothing because I think it's splintered on the LAE right now.
But it's still
I
the
think
chair.
that's coming out of the car.
Listen, it's like
no doubt.
it's like getting a piece of wood from Yankee Stadium. At the end of the day, it's a piece of wood.
I think he'll end up, and you'll have to check in 20 years. I think it'll be like $1 million collection or more.
I disagree.
Well, I asked him that when I did the Bobo Shrine tour.
Yeah, what does he think it's worth?
I said, "What is this worth?" He goes, "Well, it's it's priceless to me." I said, "Well, put a price on it." He goes, "Oh, it's got to be in the millions."
But like any piece of memorabilia, any autograph, any other stuff, it's worth as much as somebody's willing to pay for it.
I mean, I guess an insurer would know, like, have some idea of.
Yeah, I don't think Bobo's collection is worth. It may not be worth $25,000.
What about definitely less than that? I mean, it's pretty much newspaper clippings and magazines and books.
Well, he's got some
the
autograph stuff
that is unique. I mean, there's lots of photos; those aren't worth shit. It's the stuff that's signed, the books, the stuff we gave him today has some value. And
I laughed really hard. I was watching the piece that you guys put together that's going to run on TV, and he was even impressed that he's got a copy of a book that my mother signed, which made me laugh my ass off.
That's his like number 2 most valuable thing.
Sal, what do you think of Bobo's passion? Because you're a passionate fan of the show, and of course you're part of the show now, but do you understand where he's coming from, why this stuff means so much to him, what he'd be willing to do to get some stuff from the show?
You know, everybody has their thing, and for Bobo, it's the show. I certainly get it. There was a show one time on MTV. What was it called? There was these people who were obsessed with certain bands and whatnot, and they had the most ridiculous things. There are people who collect locks of hair from rock stars and whatnot.
What about you before you worked on the show? Did you ever collect memorabilia from the show?
The only thing I have from the show is when I was a guest on it, you guys signed a book, which I still have, and Howard signed a Private Parts poster. That's it.
But you were never big into you're not one of those guys like, God, I'd really love to have the seat cushion.
No, I'm not a collector type of guy. I just don't collect stuff. It's not me. But I get it. I mean, Bobo's obsessed with the show. It's an obsession, and you know what? If it makes him happy, so be it. The guy's been listening for so long. He is a super fan. He got something good out of it. Like my cock hair on his face.
Dax Shepard is on Parenthood. Bradley Cooper's a
movie actor.
Movie star. Dax wrote a movie. He got everybody in it. Everyone except me.
Has he got his wife in it?
He's got
his girlfriend. Sorry.
His girlfriend. Yeah, but he didn't get her naked.
He didn't?
No. It's a good movie. I saw it, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's getting good reviews.
Yeah, it's real good. It's fun. We'll talk to those guys about the movie business, what it costs to make a movie, because I'm thinking, like, a lot of people in the audience would like to make a movie. And it seems like Dax got it done for a couple of bucks.
There's room now. They're not making that many movies. I think you could make a movie now and actually get it shown.
Seems like if you can make a movie, like, real cheap, they'll let you make one. So we'll find out.
Show it.
What's cheap?
Nowadays, I don't know. We got to talk to these guys.
Let's see what Dax makes these movies for.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a break. We'll find out about the movie business in a minute. It'd be good for some people like Eric the Midget and Bobo. They're thinking of making a film.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they're collaborating.
Right. Yeah, they're writing. They're in the studio writing now. All right. We'll be back right after these words.
Bradley. Hey. Welcome back, man. You don't look as nervous this time.
I was nervous last time. Was I? I can't remember.
Well, it was your first time,
but he made me feel comfortable.
Yeah, it was a good interview. I remember. It was pretty cool. So you're here with there's Dax.
The big man.
How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Not bad. Not bad. What's going on, Dax?
You know, it's what time is it? 6:40. Yeah. You got a fucking camera right in my face.
Yeah. So that's
yeah.
Exactly
how you doing?
A lot better being on this side of it. So
would you wake up at 4 preparing for this?
Yeah, exactly, for this wonderful interview. But hit and run.
Yes, sir. Hit and run.
That's what you're promoting.
You better believe I am.
And I'm sure
the shit out of it.
And I'm sure that's all you'll talk about today.
Yes, hit
that's
and run. If something didn't happen in hit and run, you look great. There's no way I possibly look great. I haven't received any makeup yet. We're actually cutting into my makeup time, and I'm going to look like shit on the... What's the name of the program we're doing?
We're doing the
Today Show. I'm going to look like shit on the Today Show all because of this interview. Which goes where? To your fucking blog or something?
Exactly.
Where does this thing go?
It's Howard TV, but I run it out of my basement.
So maybe we give it a little...
we'll give it a little time.
A little breakage.
All right. Now would be a good time to cut this up.
Okay.
All right. Good luck, fellas.
So doing Bradley first. He broke up with Renee Zellweger 2 days after his last appearance here.
Wait, so can I just say something, Howard? Here's the thing. He came here. He sat here. He knew it was over. So he's a big fan of the show. My question is, what's it like to do your show knowing that it's over, but you can't say it? That's what I really...
Lie.
Yeah, no, and knowing that he has to lie to you. I love that whole idea.
All right, Dax Shepard and Bradley Cooper in a movie together called Hit and Run. Both guys came in today. Look at this.
Hey, what's up, man?
Look at you dudes. Where's Dax? Duty or PP?
Oh, my.
What's it? Dax, what'd you take a dump?
Yeah.
Hey, man, we work here.
Not very professional.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Look at these two handsome fellas.
Oh, thank you.
Look at the movie stars. All right. I love it. I love it. That's what I love.
A television star and a movie star on
Well,
one couch.
you're both in the same movie. Now, Dax, when you get Bradley Cooper to be in a movie,
yes,
because you wrote this movie and you directed the movie.
Yes.
But Bradley's a tough guy to get because of the success of Hangover and all of that. His quote is very high.
Yes. Well,
so do you call in a favor?
I absolutely do. And let me just say,
are you guys personal friends?
Yeah, we've been friends for over a decade. Best friends, pretty much.
So how does that work? Do you ask him directly, or do you have to call his agent?
No, I ask him directly. In fact, I call him and I say, hey, I want to do a car chase movie. I want to write a role for you in the movie. What do you think about that? And he says, yeah, I would love to do that.
But Bradley, you have a quote.
Why do you say that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Can you say no to Dax? Could you have?
I could have.
He has.
He has? To what?
Yeah, the most recent movie I wrote that we were going to do together, he said, no, it's a little bit too much like Hangover for my character. And I go, okay, I totally respect that. And we are no
not
problem.
Even for me, for the movie, too, I thought that it would, because it's not like The Hangover, but there's certain elements, and I think if I played it, it would do his movie a disservice.
So you hated the movie Dax wrote? And you didn't
I loved it. Actually, it's going to be a great movie.
It was the same character name, and no.
Was it weird that the movie was called Hangover 3?
And they go to Vietnam instead of...
Yeah, right. No, but that is an uncomfortable position.
Zach and Ed said yes weirdly, though.
You know what, Howard?
They didn't think it was too familiar. Yeah.
But seriously, I have friends who ask me to do favors. Some friends who all they ask of me is favors. Like they have no other relationship with me but to ask favors. Yeah. And it's very difficult to say to a friend, no, I'm not going to be in your movie.
But here's the difference. It's a no-brainer because you know him. He's one of the smartest guys I know. He's one of the most talented guys I know.
I'm one of the most talented and smart guys you know.
I don't know you that well.
You know me well enough.
Well, you're not one of. You're the most. You're the smartest.
So he's actually doing me a favor, and it wound up being correct because it's a really fun. You saw the movie.
I love the movie.
Yeah, I mean it's really good.
I saw it last night. I enjoyed it.
Oh, you watched it?
Yeah,
That's
I loved
so
it.
Flattering. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I thought it was great.
And did Beth like it? Did she swoon?
She didn't see it.
What?
She went out to a movie premiere.
Oh my God! Oh, great! What movie?
She went to see. What are you saying? She went to see a real movie? What are you saying?
She went to see a movie in a theater. No. She saw something with Gwyneth Paltrow and.
As long as it's not one of our competitors, the bicycle movie or the horror movie, then I'm
is
fine.
Gwyneth Paltrow in any of those movies?
She's in both those movies. No, I don't think she's in either of those.
Now it seemed to me you called. I went to.
I want to acknowledge.
I went to Jimmy Kimmel's party. And it seemed to me you got the entire cast from Jimmy Kimmel's party. It was everybody who was at the party.
I wasn't
except
at the
for
party.
Bradley.
Yeah.
Bradley was the only one not there.
Right. Well, I mean, I think the only person in the movie that was at that party is Kristen. So I also
Tom Arnold.
Yes. Well, you're right. You're
That's
dead right.
No, I went through it.
Yep. You're right.
Was this a party in Los Angeles?
At Kimmel's party for Stern.
That's
the big party.
That's right.
I never heard about it.
Yes.
Oh, well, you'll come this year.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to come to the party. It is the party of the year.
It really is the party. It's
what happened
I've been
there?
to a few parties. Well, what's amazing is you see A-list celebrities tooling around a party, terrified to talk to him. It's just a really fun
I go
dynamic.
to the party and no one will talk to me.
It's like when
they all have fun.
It's a party in your honor.
Was it
that
for
no
your
one speaks
birthday,
to
or
you.
was it just
no? Because I never go to L.A. Jimmy uses that as an excuse to have people over to his house.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's it.
But it's a really great party. Even you agree because you've never wanted that party, and both
I like
times
it.
you've left in a really great mood.
Bradley, you were in the movie The A-Team.
Yeah.
The A-Team was directed by a guy named Tony Scott.
No. Joe Carnahan directed the A-Team.
Why do I think Tony Scott directed that?
Because they produced it. The Scott brothers produced it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because the guy just killed himself.
I know. We just read about that.
Did you know this guy?
I've met him once.
And he's Ridley Scott's brother.
Correct. He directed Top Gun and
Top Gun.
True Romance.
Right.
Yeah.
Why would you kill yourself if you're a successful director? I could understand if you're not. But why?
Yeah, this guy made it.
Yeah.
Well, there's got to be stuff going on, obviously, that we don't
And
know
also,
about
we
yet.
don't know that he. I mean, is it confirmed that he killed himself?
He jumped off a bridge.
He pulled his car over to the side of the road and left a suicide note.
I heard Bradley stole his girlfriend.
But did we know? No, I'm just.
Ocam's razor would suggest that he probably committed suicide.
Before we get into the movie and how because a lot of people in my audience want to make a movie, so we're going to get a lesson in that from you guys.
Great.
Because,
How did Dax learn to make movies?
Hey, don't act so shy. I wanted to say, Robin, I'm so flattered that you said that we were both your boyfriends, because when I was here last time, I saw you light up at the mention of Cooper's name, and I thought, boy, I wish he had that reaction to me, and now I feel like you did.
How do you
You're
pay,
right up there.
let me get into this. How do you pay Bradley Cooper? In other words, you've got to negotiate with his agent, right? He agrees to do...
No,
we did it all. I mean, we just did it together, and then I told my agent, who's our agent now, and at the time still was our agent, that this is what's happening.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold it a second.
And I want to be on record.
You told your agent this is what's happening?
Yes. This is the fee we've talked about.
How much does it cost to make a movie like Hit and Run?
Well, I'm not exaggerating.
Don't fumble around. Don't be Mitt Romney. Come out with it. Come out with the truth.
All I'm going to say is it would take most people about $15 or $20 million to make the movie, because they don't have the cars. Those are all my real life cars. These are my real life friends who
a lot of stunts.
Tons of stunts that
Love
I
that.
did.
Yeah, he did.
That I
you
did
know
all
that. He did all the driving.
Impressive.
Thank you. So all those elements I brought to it, Kristen Bell, the cars, Bradley Cooper, that package is worth, at a minimum, at least $15 million. Now, I was able to get that done for a few $1 million, which is really...
So what do you offer Bradley? Let me be his agent. His agent probably wants to pull his hair out.
He has ownership. Like all the actors in the movie, we all share if the thing does well.
We get a piece of the action?
Yes.
But where
no
does the
little
money
taste.
come from?
No salary.
From the movie-going audience, Robin.
No, where does the money come to make?
The initial.
Yeah, to make the money.
Oh, from an investor who says,
Did you go out and find this guy?
Yes. Well, my partner, Nate Tuck, who's a genius, he, in 5 days, found this guy who put money in a bank account. I thought we were getting involved with the mob or something. And the guy called me and said, let me deposit this money. I said, this doesn't feel right. We've never even met.
But isn't this a tremendous responsibility? Some guy puts up $15 million, whatever, a bunch of business guys, and all of a sudden they're depending on you to make them back their investment. I mean, I'd be scared.
You saw me 2 days after we wrapped. I don't know if you remember, but when Kristen and I visited you, we had just finished like 24 hours before that. And if you remember, I
thought you were bullshitting. I didn't know you really had a movie.
I suspected that you did think that.
Yeah. A movie. I don't know what he's talking about.
Everyone's talking about projects at dinner, and I had to make one up.
And do you get Kristen? Do you get Kristen Bell is your fiance?
Yes, my lover.
You will not marry her until gay marriage is legal.
Yes,
smart move.
Right.
Where? Everywhere?
Well,
no, in California. Thank you for specifying that, Robin.
On Mars, it's got to be legal.
Very liberal
Why
on
did you
Mars.
just say you don't want to get married?
You know me. I would love to get married.
No, you
yes, I would.
Do you think he will? Would you think his relationship with Kristen Bell is going to last forever?
I do.
I don't.
I mean, I don't know what forever
I don't.
means.
Oh, you're
Tell me why. Tell me why.
Well, let's hear this theory.
Because he would marry her already.
Not true.
Not true.
He's hesitating.
He's such a family guy. Are you kidding me? Have you been to his house?
He's such a family guy, but he won't marry his girlfriend.
Well, because they have this stipulation.
Bullshit.
Listen to me.
I had that stipulation too, but I got married.
No, Stern, listen to me. If we were around in the 60s and half my friends were black, I wouldn't have my fucking birthday party at the front of the bus.
I don't know what
that
you're
would be
talking
rude.
about.
I wouldn't have a party that my friends can enjoy. I'm not going to invite
that too.
half my gay friends to join me in celebrating a right that they don't have. That's just not... That's not the right way to throw a party.
I think you ought to marry her already. I don't care.
Okay.
I do.
Maybe I'll do it on the secret.
Bradley will never get married. Let's face it. This guy, first of all, the last time Bradley Cooper was in my studio,
we talked about my marriage.
No, you were dating Renee Zellweger.
I've been married.
You were dating Renee Zellweger. 2 days later, after I point blank asked you.
He obviously wasn't dating her. He wouldn't tell us.
I said to him, how's it going?
Thank you for remembering, Robin.
I said to him,
he's saying all these things. He said, I'm never going to get married. I've been married. We talked about it for 20 minutes. And then he said I was dating Renee Zellweger, which we never talked about.
You would never do a Friends movie for free.
No.
Well, that's why we're here, Howard.
You were dating
It's
Renee.
like my mother. My mother only talks when she points.
That's right. I'm pointing at you now because I'm calling you out. You lied to me.
That is not true.
No, you did.
Hold on a second. I did not lie to you.
Yes, you did.
Tell me how that happened.
I'll tell you how.
Okay.
I said to you, hey, Bradley, you're going out with Renee Zellweger. That sounds pretty interesting. What's up with that? How's that going? And you said, look, you gave the actor thing. I'm not there. I don't want to talk about it. But
he does my voice perfect. That was amazing.
Next time I'm going to have
no one's ever done me like that. That's amazing.
But you indicated that everything
Rich
was
Little over here.
But you indicated that everything was fine in the relationship.
No, I didn't. No,
You
what
did.
I said was, I mean, you guys have the tape, but I think that I don't talk. I will tell you anything to tell you about losing my virginity, my marriage, because that's. But I don't talk about.
He even
stuff
told
like
you
that.
what he made on The Hangover, which was
In a second.
Yeah, that was. I thought that was.
I don't even remember what you made on that.
You didn't even remember that I was married.
I didn't even. You know what? I don't remember
You don't know
anything.
who the fuck I am.
You're revealing all this shit, and I'm like, hey, who is this guy? But
he thought you were great in Green Lantern.
You did a good job. You did a good job. No, but in all seriousness, you were broken up with Renee Zellweger, and the reason I say you'll never get married, you really are quite the bon vivant. You're a man about town. It is an incredible resume. Dax, is it not?
His working resume?
No, forget his work. I'm talking about the women.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's incredible. I'm going to review.
It's really, yeah. Let's get into it.
And by the way,
I'm still a little bit upset that you don't think I'm going to marry Kristen when you spent time
already.
bowling with us.
Well, marry her already.
You know what? That bowling thing I'm now realizing was bullshit. That was complete bullshit.
Listen to me.
If
I
anyone's
love
getting
her.
married, it's us.
I think she's beautiful.
Yes.
I think she's fun.
Do you not
smart.
see how much I love her when I'm in front of her? Do you not see the
Marry
love
her.
radiating?
Marry her
out?
already.
Wait, since when do you care about the state of California declaring we're truly in love? That's not your style. You're taking a position you can't even defend on this.
Is there something sexually holding you back from marrying her?
That's very
Do you feel
true.
she's not as giving in bed as you would like?
That's exactly it.
That's what I thought.
Exactly
That's what I said to my wife.
I said not until gays can marry and you open up fully to me. It's a two-part. It's definitely a two-part thing.
Let's get Bradley's resume.
Yeah, let's get that out.
Let's have people understand. After you broke up with Renee Zellweger,
You have any advice for Dax tonight? He's going to do Piers Morgan, and I know that you did his first show.
I did.
Yeah.
And how did you like that?
I enjoyed it.
I'm going to be on this evening.
On Piers Morgan?
Yes, for the first time. I'm going to go directly from here.
I enjoyed the show. I like Piers.
Yeah.
Did you feel like he was trying to get to some, uncover some...
Yes, he badly wanted to get me to...
Well, he was trying to fight with you.
First he started out, he wanted to fight with me.
You were the first guest, or the second guest? You
Second
were
guest. Oprah was the
first
first,
right?
and then I was the second guest.
Right.
And what was his angle
since.
for fighting? How was he trying to antagonize
You say you're the king of all media. I'm the king of all media.
Which was ridiculous.
Yeah, you can't make...
I said, Piers, look, let me look at you. I'm 58 years fucking old. I mean, it's...
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm 58 years old. I said, Piers, I'm going to fight with you over who's the king of all media. How retarded are you?
Yeah, the only guy on the planet that could sit across from you and even try to go down that road would be like Letterman or something. That would be
But
it.
who would fight about
Nobody.
that? And I said, Piers, with all due respect, you're starting your show. You haven't gotten one ratings book yet. You haven't had an overnight yet. You're claiming to be a king. Don't you have to kind of earn that?
Yeah, he's a squire holding the knight's sword at that point.
That's right.
Oh,
Thank you.
Gathering up the dogs.
I can see why you're a screenwriter.
Watering the horses and putting the saddle on.
That's
and
right.
Leathering.
I said to the guy, I said, listen, with all due respect, I mean, go on morning radio and get a couple of ratings books under your belt and see if you really are the king of all media. I like him though. I thought, And
do you think there's an heir apparent? I'm being serious right now. Do you think anyone will be you? Because I often think, who will be Stern when you
Well, I don't know.
Hold up in your beach house for the rest of your life? Who will?
Well, Piers
Is there
Morgan.
anyone?
Piers
You
Morgan.
think him?
Yeah. No,
Right.
I think that I am a unique conglomeration of my parents, growing up in a black neighborhood.
Yeah.
All of those experiences have gone into what is so warped about me and so whacked about me. And there's so many neurotic impulses in me that how does someone become me unless they go? I couldn't be me unless I had all of those things.
Well, yeah, you couldn't even be you if you had to go back.
The thing about you that I've experienced and I talked about incessantly after I was on here before. I don't know if you remember. And
I remember seeing you.
And was how and I hope this is a huge compliment. How kind your eyes are. So you can say the most biting things, but when the person's sitting there looking at you, you're doing it with no sort of anger.
No malice.
Well, honestly, though, there's no. I don't know if you used to have the malice, but
that's
it's gone now.
Sarah Silverman pointed that out just recently.
I don't have. You know what? In my family, words. My mother used to say words are meaningless. Now, believe it or not, they mean nothing to her, and she'd say everything was a joke. So nothing was done with malice. It was to get a laugh. You know, it was not meant to be hurtful. It was meant to be funny.
Well, and there are also going to be a lot of words. Because I grew up in a family where, words are all day long. And, you're going to hear 10 horrible things and 5 good things. And, none of them have any weight.
And they wash over you.
It's like, I remember reading Long Day. You ever read Long Day's Journey into Night?
I did, actually. I'm embarrassed to admit that.
But that is like a perfect reflection of that.
I'm the only Philistine here.
Because that's exactly what they do. They just rip each other apart, and then they love each other. And that was
and then they go to sleep.
Howard, you also drink and go to bed.
No, it's like a Pinter play or something where it's all nonsense.
You also have the right, because you come from a place where you always talk about Beth. You're very proud of that. Like, I was listening to the Chris Martin interview that you did with him, and you guys both had excellent points. I could see why he doesn't want to be a product with his wife, and then I can see how you're so proud of Beth and you love celebrating her, and it's just two different points of view, and I could really empathize with both of them. So, because you're that way, you do have the right to grill me about why I don't just own up to Kristen. And
does she want to get married?
No, she feels the exact same way as me. She just doesn't want to. There's so few things that we could help maybe push forward a little bit, and this is one of them that we care about.
All right, fair enough. All right, let's get back to a couple of things. First of all, Bradley, by the way, and I do
Brad
want to talk
got you
about,
right off that list, Howard.
I'll get
Come
back
on,
to it.
Robin.
Well, I'd be proud of the fucking list. I mean, look at the women. But
Robin, you were going to land yourself on that list until that comment.
Bradley, did you play?
I kept texting her. She doesn't text me back.
Did you play the Elephant Man in a play?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the role I want.
Really?
Oh my God. Let me do it. Let me do it for you.
I remember. Wait, hold on, Howard. I remember when you were doing the thing about Jackson trying to buy his bones.
Yes.
And you were saying that you would do the best retarded person in a movie, and that it's so easy. And you said anybody can do it. It's faking.
Did you have to audition for the Elephant Man, or do you just get the part?
It wasn't actually. It was a summer theater festival in Williamstown, and we kind of put it together. It was my idea, so I got friends to come and do it with me.
I don't know how you played the Elephant Man, but can I do it for you?
Of course.
That's just how I would do it. This is going to be
Let me get it. Do you mind if I take my pants off before you begin?
No.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Kindness is so beautiful. Thank you.
What do you think?
It's actually super good.
Let me see you do it.
No way.
Come on, man.
No, it doesn't work like that.
How did you do it?
I mean, I don't know. Here's the thing.
Did you put the voice on? Or?
Yeah.
Did you make a fucked up face? Did you makeup or
no
makeup?
I
don't need makeup.
No, Bernard.
I'd be like,
so beautiful.
What do you think?
You keep saying the same thing. What is it?
That's all I know. That's all you ever fucking
He's meeting the actress.
Give me some shit to say. I'll say it.
Is that an actual line from the play?
I don't know.
No, it should be, though.
It really sounds like the moral of the story. It's so beautiful.
Well, don't you remember the scene where the beautiful actress says to him, "Oh, you look so handsome," and he goes, "The truth." No, come on. How did you play it?
Okay, so the writer, Bernard Pomerantz, wrote the play, and in the preface of the play says you cannot use any prosthetic makeup, nothing.
I wouldn't use that.
Yeah, and so that's the contrivance of the play. You do whatever your interpretation of what Merrick would be.
Right.
So, look, the reason I became an actor is that movie. When I was 12 and I saw that movie, it blew me away.
Brilliant movie.
Oh my God! And I became like addicted to that movie, like how it made me feel, and so it was always stayed with me. And
Did you watch it over and over?
Yeah, but not. I mean, maybe I watched it 10 times, I think.
Right.
And then that was enough. I mean, it wasn't the kind of thing you could keep watching.
So give me the.
So then when I always wanted to be an actor, and then when I was in grad school, I discovered the play, which I didn't even know there was a play.
Right.
And then I thought, oh, I'd love to do it.
Sure.
And so, and they literally they were laughing laughing at me like, you're really going to try to do this. And then I still remember we were doing a reading of it because you had to read it in front of people, and then they would decide whether you could do it. And then I just kind of like broke into a kind of not as good a version of what you just did. And I wish you could have coached me.
No, but I'm curious, like, because you're a good-looking dude. I mean, you come on and you've got to now be this grotesque figure, and you can't use a prosthetic. Right. You can't use makeup.
Right.
So what is the face? Do you twist your face?
Yeah.
And you put on
I'm
a voice?
not kidding. It's the idea what you were doing, basically.
Let me see you do it.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Don't fuck with me.
Oh, I'm not fucking with you. I'm not going to do it.
Come on, let's go out and fight.
Have you guys seen the stage production of Danny DeVito's
Why
life
won't
story
you do it?
starring Manute Bol? Have you seen with Manute Bol in the lead as Danny DeVito? It's so good. Have you seen it, Coop? Oh,
what is
my God. It's the Danny DeVito story,
right?
And it's on Broadway.
And it has Manute Bol.
And Manute Bol is in the title character, Danny DeVito.
Perfect.
Bradley,
wait,
the tallest man in the world.
I actually believe that.
But Bradley, why won't you?
You got good reviews, right?
Yeah.
Bradley, why won't you do the Elephant Man? Honestly.
It's
maybe
it's a real cheat. You mean why won't I do it right now?
Yeah, why won't you?
Because it would. I mean, it sounds so cheap. It's so stupid.
Let me hear this actor stuff.
But it's not.
Go ahead.
It's not really, and I'm so not.
Like I break into the Elephant. You tell me Elephant Man, I break into it.
Yeah.
Why won't you do it? There was some reason you won't. You know how to do it. You've done it.
Because it's like
you have to become the character.
No. It's like because he was a real guy, right? This guy Joseph Carey Merrick, and I kind of like. I love this guy. And,
right. So an homage.
It's not, though. It's like, hey, look at this trick.
It's a parlor
That's
trick.
What it feels
so
like.
how does one get to see you do the Elephant Man?
You got to come to it.
He did it on the whole plane ride here. I just want to say. I think it has something to do with
you. Do you do the Elephant Man?
Yes, the whole ride.
Do you do it?
He kept ordering Diet Coke. I love a Diet Coke.
And it kept spilling down my shirt.
When is the laboratory going to be unoccupied?
You're worried about hurting the feelings of
Is it safe to move about the cabin?
You're worried about hurting the feelings of a dead Elephant Man?
No, it's not about him. I do recognize that he's not alive anymore.
Right. I mean, you don't know. But maybe you feel bad for other people who have elephantitis or something.
It's not that sort of...
or elephants in Africa.
It's just, I can't...
My guess, I believe that you take it very seriously and it's something very dear to you and you'd feel like you'd be cheapening it.
You don't want to do it as a parlor
trick. Which I think
trick.
is legit, right? You wouldn't see like Robert De Niro doing his Awakening character here.
I can do that one. Want
Let's
to see that?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is De Niro in Awakening.
You
ready?
You're going to have to...
Wait a second. It's the same guy.
Wait, I didn't know De Niro was playing the Elephant Man in Awakening.
That's good.
Now do Daniel Day-Lewis in My Left Foot.
My left foot. Now here's my left foot. Here's my left foot. Honestly, I break right into it.
You're also doing Rocky Dennis from Mask right now.
How's that?
That's super good.
By the way,
that's when he gets frustrated.
How dexterous you are.
How's that, man?
He can't reach his pills.
By the way, all
something.
three were great.
Let's go before we get to the movie.
They're a little similar, but
the movie, by the way, hey, come on, let's get this in. Bradley Cooper and Dak Shepard are in Hit and Run. It's a real fun movie. It's car chases. It's how do I describe it?
It's super funny. It's like if Smokey and the Bandit were updated, kind of.
Did you try to get your girlfriend naked in the movie at all? Because that would have sold a lot of tickets, my friend.
In all honesty,
she's
when
very sexy in the movie.
Yeah, she is sexy.
Yeah. She is. You can see why you're in love with her.
She's like a tough little customer. And when I was editing it, I did say to her, we probably should have done more of a sex scene just because it's kind of a
scene in the motel when you guys are getting ready to go. That's very sexy when she's putting her jeans on.
Underwear and stuff.
Yeah, that is sexy.
Yeah, but there is kind of a getaway vibe to it that I feel like. The only reason is not because I wouldn't have done
getaway. You're saying like that? Yeah.
The only reason there's not a sex scene is because you meet the couple. They've already been in a 1.5-year relationship, so there's not that scene where.
Did you discuss with her showing titty?
We didn't even have that conversation.
She wouldn't show her titty?
I bet she would if I asked her to, but I
should have.
Yeah. Maybe when we're over, I'd rather just show you privately than.
When you're dating a hot chick, when you're engaged to a hot chick like your Kristen Bell.
Yeah.
How
Our
far,
guy's confused.
Have you seen her do love scenes in other movies?
Yeah, for sure.
How does that affect you?
It doesn't bother me.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, it doesn't
then you'll
bother
never
me.
marry her.
But you and I.
Am I right, Bradley? Shouldn't it bother you?
No,
you
not
and I
necessarily.
differ on this. You
I
said
go insane.
that Beth did like a commercial or something where some
She did
guy
a
was
sitcom. And the fucking guy's sticking his tongue down her throat. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm
Really?
out of this.
Yeah.
And it wasn't in the script?
No, he tried. I saw what he was up to.
But my favorite is your
Cocksucker.
story of Private Parts, though, the things you were getting away with. That's the best.
I had full bonage.
Oh, yeah, you talked about this.
I did.
It's the funniest story
I made out with every girl in the movie,
And
including
you
Robin.
even suggested that you make out with some girl in the scene and it had absolutely nothing
No,
to do.
not in the script. I made out. I felt up titty. I was in a scene with Mary McCormick. She's pregnant. You know, they have one of those prosthetic the pregnancy thing. And I'm there, and I just come in. I'm like, "Hi, honey," and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, I dropped to my knees. I rub her belly. I started making out with her, and I grabbed her titty.
Well, you're improving, yeah.
And everyone was like, "Wow, you know, that was pretty good." I go, "Yeah, it was great. I'm a genius." But why not? Why not, man? That's where it's at.
Yeah.
Now, Bradley, when you date an actress and you see her making out and she's coming, I mean, if you really care about her, it's got to bother you on some level, or am I insane?
I can see where you feel that way for sure. I don't think that's a crazy thought, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't bother me. That's not how Kristen
Has she ever done a movie
operates.
where she's really going at it with a guy?
Well, she's on the show House of Lies, and yeah, she had many sex scenes this season.
And that doesn't bother you?
It really doesn't, because I know that that's not the kind of thing that's going to drive her wild. I'd be more nervous about her out to dinner with someone talking about musical theater. Now we're in trouble if she's doing that, you know, because that's something I actually can't do.
Do you envy Bradley in his approach to women? Love him and leave him. Do you envy that? He knows what he's doing.
I envy a lot of stuff about Cooper.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. You know when to get
Well, can
out.
I tell you the best quality about Cooper? And maybe you won't care, but these